Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Humblewood, Yonderbound, Halo Well Met, and all that kind of stuff. Hi, I am Derek Sword. I am your GM for this game. I use he, him pronouns, and I am joined, as always, by these very lovely people you see around me. We're in episode 6. Dang. We're I would say we're halfway through, but we all know deep down that's not true. Um, I am going to say a couple of things, and I'll have these lovely people introduce themselves and say a little bit about their characters. First of all, these wonderful people are wonderful enough that they spend their time on Sundays raising money for a great cause, that cause being Fauna and Flora International. You can donate to Fauna and Flora International at any time through our Tiltify link and impact our, whether if you donate during a game, it impacts that game. If you donate in between games, it goes to whatever the next one is. You can give crits, you can give advantages, you can give complications, all sorts of fun, spicy things. So please consider doing that if you are willing and able, both those things being important together. You got a little extra change sitting around. You'd like to, get a tax deductible sort of a little fun bit. February's coming around again every year. Also, this is a Sword and Key game, and you can find all of Sword and Key's stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find our ongoing philanthropic endeavors like Fauna and Flora International, like NAMI, National Alliance for Millennials, which we are raising money for throughout the month of October, and like PCRF, Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and a couple more. Also, you can find all of our affiliate ships, including Hit Point Press, the makers of Humblewood. So if you were looking to get a copy of Humblewood yourself, even one of the discount copies that have like a slight printing error or something, like they only put out the stuff that's 100%, and I really appreciate that, but then they'll still sell discount copies that have like a little mark or something on them. You can find all of that at Hit Point Press's website, but I highly recommend you use our link so that way if you do get something, maybe we get some discounts going your way. I believe you can get a 10% discount just by like going to the website, but anything you purchase through our particular link really helps out Sword and Key. We have other affiliate ships as well if you're looking to get minis, makeup, dice, all sorts of cool stuff. You can also find all of our socials. You can find everything else. You can even join our Discord through our beacons. So check all that out. All that said, let's have these lovely folks go around. Shadow, if you don't mind starting us out.
Hello, everybody. I am Shadow. I use she, her pronouns, and I play Clarence, who uses they, he pronouns. And Clarence is our local friendly neighborhood Lupu, who is a College of the Undead Road Bardlock.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Next up, Liz.
I love how the captions were like Bardlock? Question mark? Like, it's just not really sure. Hi friends, I'm Liz. I use she, they pronouns, and today I am going to be Betty Brightpaw, your resident driftkin. So, my gosh, Otterfolk, barbarian, Storm Herald. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weirdly fitting for what we're doing today. Next up, we have Queon.
Hello, you beautiful people. I am Queon. I will be playing Soren Dryspell today. He uses he, him pronouns. I use he, they pronouns. And Soren is your lovable little, I'll talk to anything, everywhere, all at once, Circle of Sandruid. And I love him.
Yeah, I love that movie. I was so glad it got an Oscar. Next up, we have Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. I go by she, their pronouns. I get to play Mochi, who is an adorable little Maypack, which is a raccoon folk. She goes by she, her pronouns, and she's never done anything wrong in her entire life. And it's not a cult if your goddess approves, that just makes it an offshoot.
I'm
not a cult.
I'm not sure of the legality of that, but I'm not. Yeah, uppies for.
I'm sure Mochiheimer would have other ideas of what
Mochiheimer, yeah.
That's up to half.
Honestly, I think Hath would high five Mochi if she could.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That one. Oh man.
How does one top a nuke?
Right.
Let's
find out.
You should find out. You should find out.
We should. We're gonna.
That's what the whole movie is about. Don't.
Mochiheimer absolutely does sound like somebody who completely missed the Barbie movie and only watched this as well as Oppenheimer. Yeah, everybody's talking about Mochiheimer. I don't know what to tell you. Last but absolutely not least, we have Christian.
Hey everybody, hi, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goombo, all over the internet. I'm a TTRPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space, and I will be playing Argus Ironclaw, King of the mountains, Swiftstrig Scofflaw Fighter. I believe that is what my subclass is. It doesn't show me on D&D Beyond because why would it? We sent a message. We sent a message, and I know that bastard Balthazar got it. He's got eyes and ears everywhere.
Yeah, no, I would say you sent like, it's not just a letter. You sent like an oversized package.
Yeah.
Like he had to pay extra postage for that.
I mean, he's been sending me letters all throughout the campaign. I thought I would send him a package of my own.
That's fair.
So,
again, thank you to these wonderful people. Thank you to you in the audience for joining us. Believe we have a recap. So, Kristen, floor is yours. Take it away.
yeah. From the log of Argus Ironclaw. Pirates. Bandits of the sea. Tideswell Cave is just one of many strongholds they hold. We were here to find an edge against Balthazar. Information, wealth, something that could stop him from having the advantage. We didn't quite find that. After talking with one of the bartenders that Betty knows, turns out there was another messenger waiting for me. I will never kill the messenger, but that belief is starting to wane with every taunt delivered to me. I just have to remind myself that the one taunting me will soon be dead by my hands. And that's a relief. Anyways, the messenger, a Quorum named Lorelei, delivers it easily. No pomp, no circumstance. Balthazar wants the Borealis, wants to meet in Halara, things I've known since the first letter. According to Lorelei, Jasmine is safe as a caged bird can be. And that Balthazar is a ruthless businessman who will use everyone and everything precious to gain what they want. Lorelei, on the other hand, they're a mercenary through and through. They only care for money. And I can respect that more than those hired by her. Or hiring her. So, I've hired her. Hopefully, Jasmine can use her better than I can. After further questioning, she told us about two things we could do to hurt Balthazar from afar. One, a commander of one of the ships, this fleet. Another is locked away in a vault in the cove. And after some lengthy deliberating with the rest of my companions, blowing up that bastard's resources is far more fun than stealing from him. Mochi and Clarence, with Betty acting as eyes, have volunteered to use their magics to cause some havoc aboard the ship while I decided to meet the commander themselves and send a message. Though after seeing what those two did, I think that message was sound loud is not the word. Feels too weak. But I am very proud of both of them. Now we're back on the ship, a burning port behind us, headed to Halara.
Fantastic, incredibly well done. Please enjoy that inspiration. I would give you 100 if I could. Okay, let's jump back into things here. Let's also switch stuff up just a little bit. So, you all find yourselves aboard the Bedlam Rose, a ship who is sailing south in what has quickly become some rougher tides. You note that there are storm clouds brewing above, and as your voyage very quickly passes beneath them, rain begins to pelt, and strong winds begin to rip at the sails. The rigging holds, nevertheless. The ship seems more than sturdy enough, and thanks to the hardiness or perhaps madness of its captain, it pursues ever southward. What would you all be doing aboard the ship. Let's go ahead and go around. Clarence, I feel like there's plenty of usefulness for a bard aboard a ship, especially when morale might necessarily be in question. What might Clarence be up to?
So, there's like 5 things Clarence could be doing right now. I think the very first thing Clarence would do is write a little note to Argus, and take out the little locket that they spent a lot of money to buy. That's not a fancy locket, it's just like a little locket, and puts that in the letter and is like, "Dear Argus, I thought you might want to give this to KQ. I'm sure that we're gonna get there and everything's gonna be fine." And then also it writes like a PS. "There's something I should probably tell you, but I don't know how to tell you. So I guess if you want me to tell you, just go ahead and come talk to me in like 3 days or something." And then like folds it up and then like shoves it into like wherever Argus is staying. And then we'll go on like main deck, and then well, because is it still storming? Like, is it still like raining?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you have passed out of the boundaries of the Humblewood. You know, you have left Salter's Port. You have made it firmly into the Song Sea with a course charted southward, so that you can wrap around the Tangle Wilds and reach the Luzos Empire. You know that in between, as you have been warned, are wake worms, and then when wake worms tend to churn together, as the terminology I'm going to use, they tend to generate storms above. Essentially, literally, like the churning of the waves sends ions up into the sky that then, causes intense evaporation and also like an electric charge that kind of passes through the air. So you're passing through. At this point, you're on like the outer edge. You're edging of the lightning storm. So you're not really dealing with too much of the lightning at this point, but like the rain is persistent.
Okay. Hold on, I have to check Clarence's sheet here real fast. Okay. So with the full intention of I was gonna say like calming the wake burns, but I don't think that's correct. I think like in Clarence's intention is to create a melody that in a way blends their ship, blends their travel in like with the environment, like kind of like masking them in a way, but through like creating like a musical rhythm. Because like when sound hits water, it does something different than like normal regular sound.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. This is definitely a performance check. You're essentially trying to like use a reverse form of sonar to be like, nothing here. You're trying to like mask your submarine. You're trying to hunt for Red October, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, much as Sean Connery was a Scottish man pretending to be a Russian, let's see if you can play a song that allows wake worms not to see you. This is going to be a higher DC.
Oh, no.
However, you do have your spectral band to assist you.
Oh, sugar muffins. I do.
Sugar muffins, indeed, Shadow.
Oh no! Hold on.
That's the worst thing you can say in the Humblewood. That's it's like every slur.
I can't
put
believe
together.
I just heard that. My ears.
Dad.
4
Like, all the
hours on
pirates
ship
look at
and
you and
already
go,
swearing like a
"No."
sailor. Nuh-uh.
One of us walks over and like puts our hands over Soren's ears.
Yeah.
What did
Little
they
ear
say?
holes.
What happened?
You can't say these things in front of Soren's baby ears. You can't do this.
I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap. Made from oozes.
Oh no, not the ooze soap.
It's got like a little extra tingle to it.
Ugh.
Why
Friend
is
without
this soap spicy?
Okay, hold on.
It's extra exfoliating.
It's what makes it gets you cleaner. Yeah. Okay. So I get advantage because of my spectral musicians that appear out of nowhere. I definitely don't freak anybody on the crew out.
Yeah, you also note that there is a new band member.
Oh no, there is the little hedge. Clarence doesn't note this. Clarence is just like,
no.
oh, hey, drums.
Oh man.
The hedge just with maracas.
Oh.
Like, they don't even get a good instrument.
That's
Poor
so
little
much.
Or
Is
or
that
like the
back
Back
rain
there with the
stick.
triangle.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
man.
what you get for sleeping when people are burgling your boat, I guess.
That's, yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Consequences.
that's their fault.
He woke up with a triangle in his hand. He's like, where am I? What?
Is this?
Why am I see-through?
Okay. So that is gonna be a total of 26.
Okay. I in my head I was setting a DC for 25, so I think
Nice.
that is more than adequate. Okay, so it sounds like you're standing on the top deck, maybe even the forecastle or the quarter deck. Probably the forecastle if you're getting closer, trying to mask the passage of the ship through the waves. And yeah, it's this eerie song. It's not a shanty. It's not a jaunt. It's not a waltz. It's nothing like you've played before. The music that comes out, you almost don't hear it first. It's like it echoes back at you, and it's this deep, hollow kind of like if I think if Clarence had ever heard whale song before, it would be similar to that, and it's like the crashing of the ship through the waves as it crests over one wave and splashes down into another. That noise is dimmed, it's dulled somewhat as the music kind of like takes over and creates almost this sound bubble around the front of the ship, around the bow of the ship. Let's do a Constitution saving throw to see in general how long you're going to be up there before it really starts wearing at you.
Okay. So Clarence has never been on a ship before. And
Yeah, that's my favorite line from King Kong.
and and it's stormy seas, so it's not even like normal
Yeah.
seas, so the boat's rocking back and forth, and Clarence rolled a 4, so I really think maybe they get a little seasick.
Okay, so I'm sorry, what was the roll? Was a 4?
It was a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. So I think the band strikes up, and you get the effect that you were looking for. I mean, you know that you can do this, but again, as the ship kind of is slamming itself down into wave after wave, yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before that horizon bobbing is something Clarence has never experienced before. I mean, if you're talking about motion sickness, the fastest Clarence has ever moved through space, like where Clarence could perceive it, is on a wagon, maybe going like 20 miles an hour tops. And this is on a ship that's, sailing at a speed far in excess of that in knots, and also is bobbing on the horizon. Clarence, I think you start to feel a special churning in your own stomach, and the band all kind of like dies down. There's a bit of cacophony for just a moment as all the spectral bandmates are kind of whisked back into your gloves and your instrument, and you go looking for the nearest bucket. Let's cut over to Argus, since Clarence did leave Argus a little note. Where would we find Argus on this voyage?
I think we'd find Argus. No, probably writing it in that journal I was just reading from.
Okay.
When he sees the, I don't know how big the ship is or like what the orientation of the ship is, but like I guess he's the letters slide into the.
So you have, I think the ship's just about 100 feet, maybe, I think it's about 120 because we described this as a warship.
Right.
And you have been provided with quarters that are like, kind of like passengers' quarters. You're not with the rest of the crew that you kind of know are on the lower deck and typically sleep on hammocks. They're all kind of like lined up. There's a number of crewmates.
Right.
But quarters have been provided to you in the forecastle. As you know, the captain's quarters are beneath the quarterdeck. And you have been provided with 2 rooms, one on either side, starboard and port. So you will have to share a room with 1 to 2 people. But there are enough beds. It's kind of there. You can see that there are bunk beds in there, and then an extra sleeping roll has been placed out for the 5th member of your party. So, yeah, depending on who you are bunking with, there is a desk where you would be able to write this small lantern to light your way, as the porthole has been closed and is dark outside anyway. But yeah, the writing is something that might be a little difficult as you're kind of shifting left and right. But nevertheless, you were able to complete that journal note. As you do, you hear a knock on your cabin door.
I will go answer it.
As you do, you open the door, and standing there, a decent bit smaller than you. I'm not sure we necessarily described size last time with her,
Yeah,
but
I don't think so.
is Lorelei, the Corvin. And she's kind of like just leaned against the side of the door and looks up at you. Are you just going to stand here sulking, or are you going to explore a little bit?
I mean, explore the same ship we've been on for the past couple of days.
There's no secrets everywhere. You know where to look.
Sure, you're having a blast then.
She like shows a little bag that's full of just little trinkets that she's probably stolen off the crew. She's like, yes, I'm having a great
Oh,
time.
shit! All right. I stand corrected. That was faster than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, if you want something, you'll need to hold on to it. Speaking of, she points past you where the Borealis is kind of like leaned up against the wall, just kind of glowing with that ambient wintry energy, that cold energy that's constantly giving off. You are, what is the word? Conspicuous with that. You carry it around like it is a small child that you are trying to show the world. And typically when I see somebody with a giant glowing magical blue crystal, I think, that's something I want. So, would you have plans to hide that in any significant way?
I mean, I'm not sure how to hide such an object. I've never been one to hide what I've stolen.
And that is why you have friends like Lorelei. I will make a gift to you, and someday you will make a gift back to me. That is the exchange we have made. Congratulations. And she hands you a satchel that is, like, when you look at it first, far too small for the Borealis. But I believe we had one of these last season, so I'm not going to make you do a roll or anything. You kind of flip it around, and as you're looking at it, the feel of it, the pattern on it, this is a bag of holding. You can hide it inside this, and nobody will be the wiser except for me. And I won't
Except
take it
for
from
you.
you as long as we have our deal.
As long as we have our deal.
Hmm?
Yes. You realize this item is the reason why there was an eternal winter in the Humblewood, correct?
I did not, but now I know, and that makes it even more valuable.
Makes it even more dangerous. If anyone knows
Mm.
that this in this bag, you become a target.
That is fair. I will avoid stabbing you in the back. I will at least you do the respectful service of stabbing you in the face.
Yeah, if you do
Should it
stab
ever
me,
come to that.
yeah, should it ever come to that. But just know that it takes more than one stab to kill me.
I'll remember that. Thank you for the advice.
You're welcome.
Also, the Lupu fellow, he has lost all of his lunch, and also sent you this note. And she will kind of like almost like a sleight of hand, like a magic trick. She'll just kind of like produce this note in her little feathered hands, and hand it over to you.
We'll take it. I mean, I'm sure I've never had to experience waves at all, so I'm sure they're having just the time. I heard them. I heard the music. I'm guessing that was music that they were playing, and sounded okay for the time being. But then it just stopped, so I got worried. I won't lie, I did get worried. And he is opening the contents of the letter as and sees that and sees the meet me in 3 days time. He has something to tell me. And well, also, you said it's like a ring. What was it? It was a
Locket.
locket.
It's
Locket,
like
yeah.
a gold little locket that opens up and has little portraits in it.
What are the portraits as he opens it?
Some random hedge. I got a second hand, okay?
Jesus Christ.
If there's nothing more that a bandit appreciates than a second-hand item, he'll smile at that, and I'm sure whoever this was got pilfered good. I hope we make it 3 days, considering the storm we're heading into. Jesus. I should go probably. No. Do I wait 3? Do I literally wait 3 days? I mean, I was told to wait 3. I'm gonna wait 3 days before I talk to them about this. If we make it 3 days.
Let's see. What about Soren? Where would Soren be on this voyage?
Soren, kind of like our good friend Clarence, has been struggling this entire time, and is on the opposite end of the ship, throwing up.
Okay.
Just-
It's like an Ouroboros of upheaval. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Ouroboros. Maybe it's like the snake that's on either end. Amphisbena. There we go. Again, not a drop of caffeine in me. How am I doing this? Okay. So yeah, Soren. As you have also found your respective bucket. What's kind of like what's going through your head? Are there anything you want to achieve while on the ship? Anything you want to do?
Right now, just try to get in good with the ship's dock, because this is going to be a long ride. His little tilia feet are made for the ground, not the water.
Okay.
And then, like, is there an infirmary?
There is an infirmary. Yeah.
I'll go knock on it.
Let's see. Okay. So you know that below decks, almost beneath where you all are staying. So towards the bow, beneath the focusal. You give a knock on the door, and opening it up. Let's see. I hadn't decided on who the. I think that's good. There we go.
I love making Derek come up with characters.
Opening the door, you see that there is like a lot of like long claws that kind of like grip around the door first, and pulling it open, you see a small Arma hedge. Hedges are typically like, well, I guess you would be more familiar maybe with the Arma hedges than with regular hedges, as this is kind of like a pangolin sort of person, and he opens the door with like a little set of like goggles that his eyes are kind of like they're Coke bottle glasses, so the eyes are like really big on this otherwise long snoot and these long claws with this kind of like, you know, armored back to him, but he's wearing kind of like some of the nicest clothes you've seen on the ship. He's not really dressed like a pirate, but there's sort of like a finery to his clothing. And as you know, he opens the door. Oh, hello.
Hi.
What's broken?
Me? Everything's
Oh.
kind of spinny. And I'm not sure how you guys what's the these sea legs? I don't have those. I was hoping
Yes,
to
they
get
look
some.
more like L's to me than C's. Sorry, old pirate joke. Please come in. I'm sure I have some sort of something for that. Yes. And he opens the door, and you can see that there is a single table that has a blanket kind of like over it. You can see that there's a lot of old stains on here of various reds and brown hues, a little bit of yellow here and there. I assure you it's quite clean, but it's hard to bleach things out these days.
I'm supposed to sit on that?
Or lie on it, or do a headstand.
Okay. You said headstand? He's gonna do a headstand.
Hey, you know what? Good for that's.
And
I don't think you need anything. You're doing great.
as he does it, he's like, "That was a bad idea." Sorry. So, how? I don't think you're a pirate, are you?
Well, I'm aboard a pirate ship,
That doesn't make you a pirate. I'm on a pirate ship, and I'm not a pirate.
doesn't it?
No.
Are you a captive here?
No.
Okay. All I'm saying, and he's rifling through drawers and like trying to like pull out bottles every time he pulls out a bottle. He goes, no, not that one. And throws it back.
Like looking over his shoulder, like, oh no, man.
All I'm saying is, you know, when you lie with, well, do we have dogs in this world? When you lie with the equivalent of dogs, you get fleas. And whether you're a passenger or a crewmate aboard this, you are on a pirate ship nonetheless. Now, we're not the bad kind of pirates, right? We don't really do a lot of that. It's mostly just smuggling and a bit of, you know, give us your stuff or else. Which I
Soren,
guess is the bad kind.
Soren has like tuned out the second he's like, it makes you a pirate. He's like, huh, I'm a pirate. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. What do pirates normally do? I know I don't get to pillage.
I mean, you could pillage, I suppose. You know, we're not really gonna stop you.
No, Gebo wouldn't approve of me pillaging.
Okay, well, we wouldn't.
That's
let them.
you know, praise Gebo.
Sure.
And he's just like, did you find any medicine? It's how do you get used to this?
Well, time and perseverance. And he is going to hand you just a glass that has a clear liquid in it. Drink this.
Okay. Chugs it. Doesn't
Do a
question a
Constitution
thing.
saving throw.
Great.
It's not a high roll or anything.
It's fine. It's fine. I got a 16.
16, great. It's just seawater. It's salt water. He is
Oh.
a bit of the brine to make you feel fine. The more you drink of the ocean, the more sort of in tune with it you'll become. Now, don't drink a lot of it because you'll die, but I feel like I've given you contradictory advice. Drink a little bit of seawater, but then also make sure you hydrate so you don't dehydrate. If I make it a rhyme, does that make it easier to remember?
A little bit. That's what they used to
Okay.
do when we were younger.
Right.
Okay. So, how much more seawater you got?
He like gestures around him. I mean, unlimited, I suppose.
I opened like, is there like a porthole here that we can look out of?
Absolutely,
Okay. How bad is the storm outside, or
It's
are
pretty
we
bad.
below the water line?
No, you're still above the water line.
Okay.
The bottom deck would be kind of like where you would. There's no portholes down there, I will say.
Okay. Yeah. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Like okay. All right. Yeah. So, okay. I think I feel better. Okay.
I mean, to
And
be
then-
fair, you already threw up once, so you probably feel better just from that.
It was the third time today.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if it's 5, come see me again. Otherwise, my best recommendation: don't pay attention to the horizon line. It's gonna mess you up. It's gonna seem like it's moving, but we're the ones that are moving. Remember that. We're the things that are moving through space and time.
Mochi told me to pay attention to the horizon line.
Yeah, I don't know if what I told you was the right thing or not. I know it's about either paying attention or not paying attention to it, but I don't know. I'm down here most of the time. If you stay below deck, you don't have to worry about the horizon line, so there's that.
Mochi played a trick on me.
Maybe. Who's Mochi?
Oh, Mochi's my friend.
Oh.
Running around probably. They are an amazing high priestess of Hath. You should really talk to them about Hath. They're amazing.
Okay.
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 And as he's just like, they're just like having a stare off as like it's just a back and forth. Okay. He's gonna head out. Just say,
Do you want a rabies shot, or are we good?
what's rabies?
Oh. Hey, well, if you have to ask, I don't think it's a problem.
Oh,
You're not
that's-
foaming, are you? No. Okay.
I don't think so. I'm still all scales and sand. I'm sanding, if that helps.
Oh. It doesn't.
Okay, I didn't think so. What was your name again?
Ulysses. Dr. Ulysses Trench. He'll put a hand that is literally just like all claws. Like he's not trying to like stab you or anything, but they're just like these are claws that are meant for digging. You kind of get. He just like puts out a big clawed hand.
He grabs onto like a claw and it just shakes it. Nice to meet you, Doc. Hopefully I don't see you again.
Yeah, well, if you need to, you need to. Take a complimentary health potion, and he'll kind of just grab one, and push a health potion on you.
I'm definitely pocketing that. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go, gonna go bother my friends. So he just
Okay,
like
best of
kind of walks or like waddles around the ship for a little bit just to like see if this seawater thing has any has any basis to it.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it does. But
It doesn't.
Yeah.
He's struggling. But what I will do, because it's the rocking back and forth that messes with the seasickness, I'm gonna go ahead and cast water walk on myself. Maybe that'll balance me out.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
Yes, literally getting your sea legs with water walk.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
But yeah, other than that, Soren's just chilling for the rest of the day, unless somebody comes bothering him in his little hammock.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's go over then to Mochi. What would Mochi be up to?
so much to do, so little time. I mean, she would really like to go and talk to Clarence, but going near Clarence and hearing the retching, probably, maybe later. Later might be better. Puke first, talk later. We've been on the ship a little bit now, right?
Yes. Yeah, a couple of days now.
Would Mochi at any point in time have noticed Lorelei stealing from the crew?
Give me a perception check.
$25. 26? 25. I can do math.
Let me see. Sleight of hand. Okay. I will roll for her, and we'll see if she can be a 25. She does have a plus
Assume I'm
10.
just hanging out in the shadows watching her because I don't like her.
Okay, so that's only a dirty 20. So I will say yes. You do note, like, at first it's mostly like the rumblings of some sailors being like, oh, I thought I had dice. Weird, and they're like patting on their pockets. I can't remember where I would have placed them. And then somebody else being like, has anybody seen my wedding ring? I was literally on by hand, and
Alright.
it's not a funny prank. And then you start noticing like Lorelei will like chum up with some of the sailors, and she'll like pat them on the back, and as she's doing that, she'll steal like something like off their shoulder, or she'll take like a piece of jewelry off their wrist as she's like shaking a hand. She's just taking just like little trinkets,
Just
nothing that's like
casually.
overly valuable. Yeah,
Perfect.
maybe sentimental valuable. I'm not gonna say that about a wedding ring, but
I was gonna say like nothing of importance, nothing of value.
Wedding
That's
ring.
someone's wedding ring.
nothing that can't be replaced.
So
Ooh-wee.
Mochi watching her do that like one too many times is gonna be in the shadows. Her little raccoon paws together and go, she's good. I wonder if I'm better.
No.
And she's going to go and steal shit from Lorelei.
Okay, all right.
I will be using many tricks.
Let's
Little-
okay.
Little prayer to have for portents. We will be casting Veil of Dusk. We'll happily use the eye to scout to see when this is a good option to do this.
Okay. She does have legendary resistance. I will say for this, I'm not going to use it. Let's. She has 2 legendary resistance that she can, if she fails a saving throw, she can choose to succeed. This is the Ambitious Assassin stat block, which is a CR5. That's what I'm using for Lorelei.
What would she be saving against?
Yes, so that's what I'm saying
She's
is that
not
if I was,
saving.
well, if this was a dexterity saving throw, which you could consider it that since you are pickpocketing, I'm not going to consider that. I'm going to consider it a contested roll. So what? Let's do a perception for Lorelei versus a sleight of hand for Mochi, but let's also set the scene. So
Yes.
Lorelei is kind of like on the hunt, as you have seen her. She's she's playing some cards, 3 Dragon Ante or whatever the equivalent is in Humblewood, with a few of the sailors. And while she's doing that, she has a card literally up her sleeve. And she's also like, just like slipping away every now and then when she puts a little gold in the pot, she'll slip a coin back into her sleeve.
Mhm,
Yeah, just
mhm.
the pot's getting somehow smaller and larger at the same time. What would you like? How would you like to approach this?
Setting wise, is just them around a crate somewhere? Is it?
Yeah, let's say this is below deck, so you don't have to deal with the rain. There's hammocks all about. It's later in the evening, so there's a few people in their hammocks. Lantern at
Yep.
the center, kind of to give off light. Otherwise, pretty dark in the below decks. A bit of back and forth to the ship, but nothing too heavy at this point. And yeah, there are 3 other sailors along with Lorelei, all sitting on crates, barrel at the center.
Perfect. Let's go for the tried and true stealth misdirection combination. Cast duplicity, make Mochi appear opposite, go invisible myself, and sneak
Okay.
with little raccoon paws.
All right. So you evoke duplicity. A
Yes.
mochi appears,
Yes.
and
Well,
go ahead.
not like smack bang in the middle emoji
Right,
appears.
right.
She's summoned out of sight and ambles into sight, as
Right.
emoji would.
Yes. Out of
Get him,
the
Matcha.
shadows, a mochi appears.
Yes.
And a couple of sailors just kind of look over, and Lorelai's eyes kind of pop up at you, this little glint off of the lantern light with her kind of night vision. And she goes, "Oh, hello, Mochi. Did you want to join our little game?"
Matcha will just sort of shake her head no, but still sit nearby and just gesture to continue.
Well, a bit of an audience, I see. Okay. Well, fair enough. If you want to join in, just say so. Okay. Go ahead and do your sleight of hand.
Da, 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 da.
Yes, definitely do that while you're doing it.
No, what she's gonna do like a little prayer to Hath and invoke the Amaranthine and use the natural 20 portent I rolled this morning.
Okay. So what is your modifier with the natural 20?
25.
25. Okay.
25.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah, 25. I need more decks. I put
Mochi
too much
about
in
to steal the
charisma.
ship.
Okay. So I rolled perception for her.
This is not what I was
So-
planning to use that net 24. And yet here we are.
Here we are. Okay, so you know that she, like, from what you've spotted, she has a satchel that she carries on the side of her where she's been putting all of her trinkets. She has wrapped it around to her back to try to, like, keep any of the shipmates from noticing that, like, she's been taking their stuff and slowly sliding it in there. So it's pretty easy access to what you have. And you note that, she has just palmed another piece of gold and is sliding it into her pack, and she's pulling her hand out, and as she does, you go to reach in. Are you just grabbing whatever you can?
Oof. Is said wedding ring anywhere nearby? She didn't steal the locket Clarence was giving Arcus, right? Because I was there when Clarence bought it.
She did not steal.
Okay. No, let's go like, I don't want like cash. I don't need cash. I would like wedding ring or something.
Yeah, I mean, so you can't necessarily see what you're grabbing, but you can definitely feel for the
I
wedding
would
ring.
feel something
Yeah.
jewelry-ish.
Yeah, you can feel a ring, a couple of bracelets, definitely gold coins as well. And then you also
Rings.
can probably identify a pair of dice, maybe just like a cigar, probably, from what you can tell
So-
by the feel of it.
This is we're not gonna get greedy. This isn't a greed thing. This is a point of principle thing. So we're going for like 1 or 2 rings, and everything else can stay.
I think with a 25, you are able to identify the rings and maybe like a bracelet, piece of gold. And as your little mapak paws are pulling out, she whips her hand around and grabs your invisible wrist. She doesn't turn around. She doesn't say anything. She just taps like your wrist just like twice with her index finger, and then lets go and just kind of like scratches her back a little bit and pulls back around and looks to the other sailors. So whose draw is it? Mochi. She looks up to Matcha. I think that this is getting a little serious. I'm not sure you would want to necessarily watch over this. I think you have somewhere else to be.
I'm just gonna like Matcha can just dispel.
Okay.
She doesn't have to walk out or anything.
Yeah, and like all the other sailors, like they had their backs kind of to that, or like they're paying attention to their cards, so just Matcha dispels. Okay. We'll come back to that later. Let's see, Betty. Perhaps the most acclimated to being on the sea.
Indeed.
Where will we find Betty?
Is there anything like a... Gosh, my brain is thinking like a balcony or something off the back of the ship, where she would be able to fish from, like
Yeah.
like with a trawler net, basically.
Yeah,
Just kind of like
absolutely.
toss her net out there and see what we get.
Yeah, you know that the quarter deck has an attachment that's absolutely where you can fish from. Just kind of like as you're sailing, you would ask to find a net, but she's not aboard. Sorry, I'm gonna have to make that joke every time. I'm so sorry. Who are you going to? Are you to use your own net, or are you hoping to find a larger one?
I mean, if she doesn't have one, that would be like long enough to reach the water from where the balcony is, then she'd probably ask for a larger one.
Okay. Asking for a larger one from Ripper, who's first mate. He's the one that you can go to. He just kind of look down. And she crosses his arms, and go, well, suppose you're gonna get a net from anybody. It's gonna be. I mean, we'll blow there, sure. I suppose you probably want to go to. Probably going to go to the bosun. She'll get your shit up good.
Okay.
You go below decks. She down there. Yolanda.
Thank you. I'm literally sitting here looking through my notes being like, what was that? Who was that? What? Okay, Yolanda.
She ain't been introduced yet.
Thank you.
Can you see that wall too?
There's always 3 of them. You're gonna break through that other one.
Yeah, then we'll head down to locate the bosun, Yolanda.
Okay. Heading below decks, you would see, like you wouldn't see Mochi. I think Mochi has been like off in the shadows. You might hear a little retching coming from the stern where poor Soren is trying to get things figured out. You might see Lorelei, who just kind of like nods at you and just pats you on the shoulder. And then heading to the lower decks, down the stairs once again. It's much darker down here. There's a lot of barrels and chests and just storage down here. You would note that there's kind of like a bit of scuffling and like a big like oh, all right. That I absolutely stubbed my toe on that one. And this very long beaked head pops up with this larger kind of like it's a pelican. She's a pelican.
Oh god, I thought you were gonna say a toucan, and I was like,
No,
pelican. Okay.
Yeah, I was going with pelican on this one. We'll have a toucan later.
Yes.
But she looks up. She's kind of like grabbing her big webbed foot, and this white and gray feathered head kind of turns towards you, and it's just like the water kind of moves a little bit, and she goes, "Oh, hello. You're one of the new passengers. Yes. Did you need something, dear? Were you in need of a blanket or a ball to play with? I'm sorry, we haven't had passengers in a very long time.
I'm looking for Yolanda.
Oh, that's me. I'm Yolanda.
Ah, perfect. I am actually in want of a net. I was hoping
She's not on board. Yes, I have many nets. What were you looking for? Fish, crab, anything you can catch? Are you looking to catch a person?
Oh, no, I've got that one covered. But definitely more for a fish, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
She turns back around and hits her head on like a bunch of boxes that are hanging from like netting from the ceiling. She goes, "Oh, okay. I hate being down here.
If
yes,
you want to just maybe point it out, I'm happy to get in there and find it.
I've got this. I'm a consummate professional." She turns towards the stern of the ship and walks a little bit more and rifles through to where she finally finds this like probably about like this big. It's folded into kind of almost a cube, and it is like a massive set of netting. I mean, this thing's probably like fully splayed out, probably about 40 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
And hands it to you. She goes, "We should have hooking moors on the quarter deck.
Great.
Best of luck. Ask for help from Ripper if you need hauling up help. We also have a couple of winches. But don't call me that. Anyway. Good luck fishing.
Thank you.
Fair fishing.
Thank you. I think it's with the rain, it's good weather for it, so we should be. Maybe we'll get something. Just kind of.
Actually, I'm very sorry. I'm gonna retitle her the quartermaster because that makes more sense for getting stuff. I got my boat titles mixed up.
Happens almost, happens.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 5 years. Okay.
That's 6 years of nautical campaigns, and this is what we're getting.
Yeah, you get the half-ass shit.
Listen, don't try and do modern stuff because quartermaster now is not that anymore.
No, quartermaster is not that.
So...
It is how D&D defines a quartermaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not it at all. Okay, cool. So yes, you are able to go up to the top deck.
Puts it on her shoulder and just heads up and does the thing. Yeah, if it's that big, we're definitely probably gonna attach it to any hooks that would be there on the railing, so she doesn't have to hold it the whole time. It sounds tiring.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, like with the pole and everything, I don't even think Betty's strong enough, unless she was raging, maybe constantly raging to hold on to that. Okay.
But I think we'll set the net and then maybe go looking for Clarence and Soren. I think Betty would be the kind of person to have something like maybe like ginger candy in her pockets that would maybe help them feel better. Ginger is known for soothing stomachs, so I think she would search them out to give them some candy. Just be like, "Okay, kids, here, you eat this. Feel better, okay?"
Thanks, Mom.
Okay. The days go by, and Betty, go ahead and give me a survival check. We'll see how successful.
See how successful we are with the fishing.
Yeah. Good fishing check.
Oh, sorta. It's a 12. It's not bad.
12? Yeah, a little above average. You're not catching anything that's like too far left field. You get a decent amount of fish, enough to supplement the cook, who already had a decent supply. And yeah, you continue on your journey.
Do 3 days go by?
Yeah, we're maybe about 5 days in at this point.
Cool.
So yeah, this would be about the time to approach Clarence.
Yeah. At the third day, where would Clarence be at the third day of our travels? Or since sending that note.
So, Derek, if I were to ask Cal if Cal could help me with the seasickness problem, would Cal have something for that?
Yeah.
Hatred, which your warlike patron not
somehow figures out how to like reverse engineer Ray of Sickness into something else. Like,
yes, let me tell you the chemical composition of Dramamine.
I think we get those cool motion sickness goggles that keep the fluid moving. Because Clarence would look so cool in those.
Well, Clarence, I believe that I could assist you a little bit with that, now that you're asking. I just want to be clear that this is a favor, and I might ask for a favor in return later, of equivalent or lesser value, I assure you.
Okay, but how is this a favor? Because, like, literally, if I don't survive this ship, then you don't survive this ship
You're not
either.
going to die from seasickness, Clarence.
I don't know, Cal. It really feels like I am.
We're bonded. Can't you feel me dying?
Clarence just a
I'm
little
s-
guy. Never saw so much puke come out of a lupu.
I'm slipping away. I'm slipping away.
It's
getting
the
dark.
The light is coming towards me.
Open your eyes, blink.
All right, Clarence. I believe that I can do a bit of assistance directed in your way. Just wanted to be clear about the point. Clarence, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw with disadvantage, please.
Oh no.
On the right track.
Okay, I'm gonna use my warlock die for this.
Am I gonna have to banish you too? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, she'll come back in 1
Be
minute.
fine.
Ooh,
man.
booyaka chat. That is a 19.
Very nice. Okay.
Nice.
Watch Derek B. The DC was 25.
Yeah, GC,
All right.
GC was
was
50.
30.
So Clarence, you
Baldur's Gate out of here.
you absolutely do feel like, again, in a similar way that, like, Cal has activated parts of like your brain to give you good brain chemicals, like in this flood of endorphins and just a little bit of messing around. All of a sudden, like the feeling, the nausea just fades away. You suddenly feel really good, like there's a revitalization to like your body. You suddenly, like, the movement of the boat, like you have this natural kind of sway with it to where you gain like sea legs. This will only last for about a day, so I'll have to do the same in the morning. But if you give me permission, then we don't have to have this conversation again. This is your click, so you don't be reminded about this. Check this box so you don't get this notification again.
No, I feel really good now, Cal. I think this will be okay. I don't think we need to do this again. I think it'll be okay.
All right, Clarence. I'll see you tomorrow morning then.
Okay. I mean, you're always here. Is it? You go somewhere?
It was nice talking to you, Clarence.
Do you have other warlocks?
You got. I'm not
She
your
know
only
me?
warlock.
That's how this works, okay?
Yeah. So then Clarence probably would just be chilling in one of the rooms, just kind of like sitting there and kind of quietly staring out the window.
I think once they don't hear the horrible retchings that they've heard, like it's like an alarm clock of like up that they're up there. It's once he stops hearing that, he gets concerned. Like, did they actually die? And we'll go check on them. We'll knock on wherever they are and be like, Clarence, you okay?
Oh, I guess yeah, I'm good.
Alright. Is it safe to come in? Is it toxic zone in there, or are we okay?
I think it should be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna enter in. How you feeling, bud?
Pretty good. Yeah, I think I've gotten used to the ocean thing now.
That's good. That's good. You had me worried there for a bit. I'd never seen someone that sick before, so I was concerned.
Oh, so you haven't seen Soren?
I've heard the wails of Soren. I don't know if I go see that, my eyes will be okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of bad things in my life. I don't think I'm ready to see that yet. Speaking of, you sent me this, and he holds up the letter, and this
Oh,
a few days ago.
yeah. Did you? I thought, when I saw the locket, I thought of KQ, and I thought that maybe it would be nice.
I'm sure I appreciate a good stolen good. I'm guessing you stole this.
No, I did. I definitely paid for it. I didn't steal it. Maybe the person I bought it from stole it, but I did not steal it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate a gift. I always appreciate a nice tribute. That's always nice. What did you want to talk to me about? It took 3 days time. I'm guessing you had to boister up some courage to tell me this.
Yeah, just you should come in close.
Oh, it's okay. And he will do just that. And he will sit down next to you.
So normally I would tell Mochi this kind of thing first, but I don't know. Mochi's been acting kind of weird around me recently, and I don't know if you noticed, but she got really offended when I just did my usual prestidigitation flavor up on food, which is what I do with almost all food.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that, yeah, that did cross my attention.
And yeah, so I don't know anymore of how good friends we are right now. I mean, Mochi did spend all that time with Betty, and maybe now Betty's her best friend. I don't know. But okay, but maybe you can help me. Maybe you can help me figure out how to tell Mochi.
Sure. Tell them what?
So well, do you remember back when we were in the vault, the super secret vault?
You mean the back at the school?
Yeah, where we got the thing for the Borealis.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you remember the objects that were in the vault?
Several of them, yes. I do remember those, yes.
Yeah, and do you remember the one that talked?
I mean, that was the one that I most remember, yes.
Yeah, cause they were wildly helpful, right? They helped us.
Did they?
Didn't they give us an answer to a riddle or something? I don't know. I don't remember. Kind of shadowed away.
It's been almost equivalent amount of time also for Shadow and Clarence. So I want to be clear that this is also Clarence's memory. Was like, oh, that was a riddle or something.
No, I don't think it was like
I do remember the riddles. I don't remember them helping. I remember them trying to get free.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
So I kind of have them in my bag.
Okay, you have the talking skull in your bag.
Yes.
Why?
So you know how I do magic, right?
Yes.
And Lupus have like a natural thing for magic.
Mhm.
And when I was at the magic school, they didn't really approve of the way that I did magic because they said like that's not how magic is supposed to be done, and they had all these rules about magic and all of that kind of thing. But that I don't agree with that, and I think if we can expand the way that we think about all sorts of things, right? It could be helpful to us, right? Like you never know what you don't know, and you don't know what you're missing just because you make an arbitrary rule that maybe isn't how things are supposed to go.
Right. I respect the notion of freedom. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know how you took all of the former bandits and then taught them how to be mercenaries and use their skills for good and not be bandits?
I mean, it's still a work in progress, and there have been deserters and betrayers, but yes.
But there's a lot of good, and
Yes.
and they wouldn't have taken that route, right? If your dad was still in power,
This is true.
right?
This is true.
Or if that one family of that faction of that clan that doesn't like you very much, that if they came into power, they would still be bandits doing bad bandit things, right?
Right.
So I think Cal's kind of the same way. I think Cal has a lot that he could offer the world, but the world doesn't want to listen to Cal because maybe Cal did a couple bad things like 200 years ago, and then they just locked him in a basement with nobody to talk to for 200 years because they did a bad thing, and then maybe now Cal doesn't have to do a bad thing anymore, and it could be good, and maybe being around people of good influence could help not be bad anymore.
I see the logic. However, last time we dealt with a magical being that did a really bad thing, and we tried to work with them. It didn't end well last time.
Yeah, but then again, Marley went ahead and made a deal with basically the thing that's causing the fire problem that burns down homes all the time, and that was totally fine and useful in the end. But I mean, yeah, Marley did perish, but at the same time, did save the Humblewood.
Yeah, again, yes, I do see your line of thought. I see your process. How long have you've had Cal? The fact that you call him Cal immediately makes me think that you've been talking with this thing for quite some time.
When I ran into you in the mountainside at bandit camp, when you were like, "Oh, I'm heading out."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when I had Cal.
So a substantial amount of time. Okay. How are you feeling? Are you making deals? Are you sacrificing anything? Are you exchanging favors?
I mainly just asked Cal for advice and or wisdom about stuff. Like,
Right.
I asked Cal what he knew about wigworms, and I asked Cal if he knew some sea shanties, and then I played them at the tavern, and I got a bunch of money, and now we have money.
Okay, wait, time out before you continue. The band, that new edition of yours, is that Cal's?
Oh, well, Cal, when I was leaving the Humblewood and we were like going around and getting a bunch of supplies and stuff, and I asked Cal, like, hey, is there anything that you think might be useful on a sea journey? Because I've never gone on a sea journey before. And then Cal directed me to a secret hiding spot that's probably been there for like 200 years. And then inside the secret hiding spot was some little treasures and this glove.
And have you noticed anything as you've used this item?
I just play really well, but I've always played really well.
Right. I mean about the band, about anything concerning them. I'm guessing you've gained more magic because of this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have you noticed anything about the magic, about the band, anything that might seem like sneaky on the Skull's part?
Oh.
Because I don't know. Again, I don't know much about magics, but a Skull talking to you that was locked away for 200 years in a magical university that's super picky about its proceedings and its secrets.
I think inherently there's always going to be something a little creepy, a little weird, a little off about a talking skull. I mean, I think, and rational thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's anything that I can't handle right now. And also, I think Cal honestly just wants to see me do good things in the world.
You should ask him what his definition of good things in the world is. Because someone's good is someone else's evil.
Do you wanna ask Cal?
Do I want to? What do you? I can use.
We can.
Cal, are you listening to this conversation right now?
I'm sorry. What? I heard my
There it
name.
is. There it is. If you, we've said it a few times, so.
Oh, sorry, I was having a little nap.
Do skulls need? I can't believe I'm talking to a skull right now. Do skulls need to nap? I'm guessing
Well,
undead. Do undead need to nap?
Sometimes they take dirt naps.
Christian thought that was really good. Argus
Argus is irritated. Yeah,
Argus is irritated.
that should just be one of her. Christian thought that was good. Argus is irritated. Well, I'm not just a skull. An undead is, yes, but also a bit too general. I'm more than that. A fully dimensional, realized creation.
If you had to classify yourself in a, I don't know, guide of some sort where there are dungeons and masters of them.
Sort of manual for monsters, perhaps.
Yeah, sort of manual for monsters, either by some guy named Volo or just
Sure, yeah, a bunch of people. You know, there's Mordenkainen in there. Tasha makes some stuff. Everybody,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
I suppose I'd be, well, technically a type of undead, but there's ghouls and zombies and skeletons and vampires and so many various things. I think I'm more of a lich of sorts, a demi-lich, you might say.
Say the L word.
A lich or demi-lich.
Lich is not a bad thing. I just didn't want to die.
I'm sure that was the only reason one turns themselves into an undead lich or demi.
I had a lot more left to do, and there were some who wanted me to stop early, and I subverted those plans. They didn't go exactly correct, as you can see, but that's fine. I've learned a lot. I've learned to be better since then.
Do you intend to hurt anyone? Do you intend to hurt Clarence?
No, my intent is not to hurt anyone. That's... My interests are not so mundane nor so callous. My ultimate interest is to return to a great status and help this world to better itself as I have learned to better myself.
Again,
But
as I've said to Clarence, one person's better and someone else is worse. So what do you mean by better?
I've decided that my one voice is not enough to decide on what is better. I hope to help those solve their pain and their sickness. I forgot my water, and apparently Cal's voice is a little rough on me today. I hope to help people to end wars and find peace, and I can only do so much, just me, but I feel that ultimately magic is the solution that everyone has been looking for. A true restoration to the great balance.
I'm sure your balance and my father's idea of balance were the same. Someone always has to be in power. Someone always has to rule the world.
Is that not the way of things? Are you not a king?
I am. But I did not use counsel from the old in my pursuits of the new.
Perhaps that is something you will learn to correct as well.
If it needs correcting. I don't know if you should tell this to Mochi.
Yes, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I am
know.
far beyond old, and my wisdom is hopefully something you will learn to use as much as Clarence has. I have much to teach and very little power to do much in my current form. I have trusted Clarence, and it seems that Clarence has trusted me, and that is not something that I use just without care.
Just know that if you hurt Clarence in any way, shape, or form, or if you corrupt Clarence in any way, shape, or form, you will be reduced smaller than dust by me, and then sent packing to a dimension I do not care about.
That's what I said. See, cow?
Yes, I see very clearly. I appreciate your fair warning, my liege.
Looks over to Clarence. I think the issues you're having with Mochi, I believe you should talk to them about. Wondering and being scared won't get you anywhere. You can walk in place all you want. You need to go forward. You can't just have ifs or ands. You need a definitive answer. And I know it's probably terrifying, but you are taking steps to get there. I wouldn't admit that you talked to me first about this, because we know that they love having those first dibs on privileges like this, on information. And I don't know how they'll feel about you stealing from the place where their mother works. Although they might find it neat, considering half.
I mean, we steal stuff all the time. Like, we stole a bunch of slimes last time.
Fair enough. I mean, the chaos you two bring to the world is unmatched. Even in the many years of my banditry, I could not cause the amount of mischief and mayhem that you two have caused since I've met you.
Well, thank you, I guess. Thank you. That means a lot.
Again, you are a master of words. Just find a way to tell the truth.
So, yes, tell Mochi about Cal.
Yes, tell Mochi about Cal. There shouldn't be secrets amongst best friends.
Yeah, I think I'm just worried that Mochi's just gonna be like, we're not friends anymore.
That may be the case, but you have to face that head on. It's a scary thought, but you have to face it.
Okay. I'll try. Thanks, Argus.
Nod their head. Look at the skull. Is it in the bag, or is it like floating next to Clarence at this point?
It's not floating. It's either in the bag or Clarence has placed it on a table. I mean, it's like arguing with, like, I don't know, an inanimate object. Pick the funniest inanimate object you can think of, and then just flip it off. That's essentially what you're doing. It's just this thing It's like a Teddy Ruxpin that's just like, oh, trust me, my motives are completely mundane. It's like a Furby, and you're just like, oh, I hate you, Furby.
I don't trust
Please
you at all.
Cover it with a
actually.
blanket, put it in a closet.
You just hear snoring from it. Because what kind of animal was
It was also a corvid skull, so it was
Yeah.
like crow raven.
Yeah, so you
The
put
long
you
beak.
put a blanket over it, it just goes to sleep.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Somehow, up until now, I had been picturing a human skull.
I am
So
also a picture
I
of it.
really, I know, but it did
Same.
not.
The one human in Humblewood.
Yeah,
One
just-
human in Humblewood.
Yeah.
It makes
The most
perfect sense.
cursed.
It made
Honestly.
sense to me too.
Honestly, it does make the most sense.
That's
if it was
why they locked it in
Like-
the
Exactly. You
this
see
alien.
Like,
See
what
the
is this?
skull, you're like, what is that? How does it hunt?
We can't
What
have
does
this.
it eat?
It's gotta go in the vault. It
Well, he
can't.
has 2 canine teeth. What's happening here?
Ew.
Ew.
Look at its nose.
What,
It
yeah,
doesn't
what
have
is
molars.
this?
How does it graze?
Its ear holes are so small.
Yeah,
Useless.
Humblewood is scared to put sapiens in here and have like any sort of monkey people because that's just
It's
going to lead to the
smart.
Planet of the Apes campaign.
That is
Yeah.
smart.
Yep.
That's so smart.
Okay, so yeah, it is a corvid skull. It has like 2 prismatic, like they're almost like rubies and emeralds like combined. It has like these reds and greens and a prismatic that are set into each of the eye holes. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take our break there. When we come back, got a couple more things, maybe a little surprises.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about it. Go ahead, and we're going to take 10 to 15 minutes. Do the things, take care of yourselves. If you can hear my bird in the background, I'm going to give him a peanut, shut him up.
Yeah, put a blanket over him.
Yeah. Enjoy our
That's
ad
the
reel.
quartermaster you're talking about.
Yeah. And yeah, he's the worst. If you are willing and able with those things important together, donate to Fauna and Flora International. It's much appreciated and can impact this game. We will see you shortly. Take care of yourselves. Hail and well met, humble friends. Welcome back to Humblewood Yonderbound. Let's jump back into things. So, after a bit of a heart-to-heart to something without a heart between Argus and Clarence, let's cut over to Mochi here, and let's also stop Niso. As great of a song as it is, I'm getting a little tired of it. So let's move over to Loyalty, which is also a great ocean travel song. There we go. Mochi, a few days have gone by at this point. Actually, I'm sorry, I need to do something with Clarence real quick. Now that I realize a few days have gone by, Clarence, I need the Constitution saving throw from you, please.
But what if I don't ask for help again?
Yeah, that's why.
Okay.
You said you were going to do this one on your own, so...
Yeah.
Take the ginger candy.
It helped.
Do
A
I get
lot.
advantage for this ginger candy?
Someone's
Thank
just
you for
walking around
asking.
happy now.
As I often tell my students, no, but thank you for asking.
Oh.
Okay. That's a strong 9.
A strong 9. Okay. Clarence, a morning comes where all of a sudden that really good feeling you had, that confidence, that surety, the fortitude that you had walking around the ship, it all fades. You wake up feeling horrible. We can say that this is like, after your conversation with Argus. But I'm gonna say that let's see, your max hit points are reduced by 10. Oh.
Fine.
And you absolutely feel like trash. You're seasick again, you're nauseous, it's already like churning in your stomach, and like you feel significantly weaker than you did previously.
Like for the duration of the voyage?
Like permanently. This is a
Oh.
permanent thing.
Rip.
Consequences to your actions.
Oh my god.
Clarence, I did warn you about needing a re-upping of sorts. I'm detecting that you're not feeling your utmost best right now.
No. But, Cal,
Hmm.
I think this is an important lesson to you too.
How so?
That sometimes really powerful powers don't, that they have consequences, and that if you try to use them to fix your everyday problems, then it's probably not gonna work out how you want it to work out.
Or, alternative lesson, I can just do the same thing again, and the lesson can be that super powerful powers can be super useful on a daily basis as long as one maintains that sort of power and can use it to better themselves throughout life.
Yeah, but Cal, do you really think that people should be hooked on re-upping their magic?
Clarence, you're making it sound like some sort of an addiction. You use magic. Would you like to lose your magic all of a sudden? I presume the answer's no, and that goes for anyone who has access to that. That doesn't make it an addiction. It means that it's part of them, and it's something that they use to improve and expand where they previously were.
Yeah,
You're
but
always
Cal,
learning new spells.
but there's a difference between not wanting to give up my magic and not being able to give up my magic. You see the tiny difference between that distinction?
Sure.
Like,
I would
sure,
say-
I don't want to lose my magic, but for the right cause, I might lose my magic.
What I would say is this could be just another song in your repertoire. You don't expect to play the same song your entire life. You learn new ones and improve on those.
Yeah,
This
but you
was
also
just-
always have the bangers that bring in the money.
And this could be just a new banger.
I don't think so, Cal.
It slaps.
Yeah, in the bad way of slapping, not in the good connotation of slapping, Cal. I don't think you know how to use that term properly.
I really don't.
Exactly, that's what I thought.
So you're saying you don't want my help to fix this?
Not this specific problem, no. I think it's a good lesson that sometimes you have to say no.
Very well. I will step back on this one. Clarence, just so you know, your hit point maximum can be restored with a greater restoration.
Okay.
Let's cut over to Mochi. Mochi, a few days have gone by. Where would we find you aboard the ship?
Well, depends a little bit. How many days roughly are we out from Halara?
From Halara, it's probably not not to scale, but I am going to say this map that I have of Everden, of the world of Humblewood, which is the official map that they have put out through their playtest stuff. I'm going to say every square is. I don't want to make this feel like forever.
It already feels like forever.
Yeah, no, I want to say that every square is 10 days, but I also want to actually count that. So yeah, because that feels like real world travel, but that's also a lot for a game.
We have a druid. Can Soren just keep casting gust in the sails forever?
Listen,
Okay, in between the puking.
he's fine now. The ginger candy worked great.
Okay.
10, so
I
like
will say
30
that you
days
can
out?
travel.
40?
Um,
Which side of the Tangle Wilds is Halara on? Are we
Halara
going
is
around?
Yes, Halara is like right here. I'm gonna ping Halara. So you do have to wrap
We
around.
have to go all the way around?
the haunted
all the way
coast.
around?
So far.
I did not sign up for
I
this.
know.
We can just build a canal.
Unless
Hang
you,
on, 10,
Faster.
20,
well,
30, 40, 50, 60, 70,
Hmm.
80, 90,
I was counting
100,
150.
110, 100.
so I would say half is 75 days. However, to Clarence's point, there are some riverways. So
This is a big boat, though.
it is, But you can take larger ships on riverways, absolutely, depending on the size of the river.
I should have just asked you guys if you could sand swim. It's a lot faster that way.
And who knows, you might crash in the meantime.
Hey.
So
What?
yes, I'm gonna say we can shorten that to 75, maybe even shorten that a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you're gonna be on the ship for a little while. That's kind of the thing with ship travel.
Picking up
bearing,
sea shanties.
bearing that in mind, Mochi went from excited to bored. Fairly
Almost
quickly.
instantly.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, there was some debate about like body surfing behind the ship, but apparently that's not allowed. I think we'd find Mochi somewhere up on deck at night. Little private area behind some crates.
Okay.
With a little bowl that she has some fish guts in, and some charcoal and her holy symbol. And she's all set up to do a ritual, but she's like holding this little piece of paper and she's just going over it. And she's like, okay, can only ask questions about things that are gonna happen within the next 7 days. I can ask if Willa is still mad at Betty. I can ask if Argus is going to kill anyone on the ship, or I can ask if... No, I can't ask if Sobe's gonna be happy to see Soren. That's more than 7 days. Can't ask if we're gonna save Jasmine, because that's more than 7 days as well. I can ask if Clarence and I are gonna be okay. No, that's more than 7 days. Can ask if we're gonna get to Halara safely. Can ask if I... No, can't. 7 days is too short! Okay, I know, I got it. 7 days. She will light her incense and make her offering to Hath, and she will cast divination to get an answer to one question about a goal or event, blah blah blah, in the next 7 days. And she's gonna take her little sheet of paper with all the options she had, chuck it to the side, and go, when is Lorelai going to try and steal from me? If you're talking to me, you're muted.
Sure am. Thank you so much. Okay, so short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Yes.
Spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances might change the outcome, such as casting of spells, loss of companion. Okay. Okay. What I will say is, you hear the voice of Hath. I think we've established that you have heard the voice of Hath before.
Yes.
And
normally she comes to me in the bath, so this is a little awkward.
And it's a little muffled with the rain and everything, but the incense actually, begins to form a shape. And you hear Hath's voice say, "In 5." And you see a 5 form out of the incense.
Beautiful.
4.
So,
I was gonna say
Yep.
5 minutes, 5
3.
seconds.
And as it counts down,
Mochi's going to ready, oh god. Mochi's gonna ready... She was kind of nice to me. I shouldn't ready inflict wounds. That might be overdoing it a little bit. Just a little bit. Can I hurt her a little bit? How mad is Argus going to be at me? I think Mochi will be a good little raccoon who has been told that she's on her side now. And is just going to ready and cast light. Right here. Just drop it in front of her.
Okay.
Turn around. And
The-
just say,
the
hi,
s-
Lorelei.
Yes, the second you do, it illuminates Lorelei, who had been leaning over the barrels and had been like kind of obfuscated in the darkness of the storm and everything else. The incense kind of parting to show her. And she's just leaning over. She's got a little dagger in between her fingers that she's just kind of playing with. She goes, "Oh, hello, little thief."
Hello, not so little thief.
Hmm. I have to admit I am slightly impressed at the gall it would take to steal from me, but also
Likewise.
the capability that you showed in doing so. You have some skill.
True.
You are a follower of Hath.
On my good days, yes. On my bad days, I am a leader of the people who also believe in Hath. Follower doesn't always cut it, you know?
Yes, you do seem yes, a leader. I can see that for sure.
I bet you can.
I have done my prayers to Hath in the past as well. I'm more of a Titan individual, but
I have assisted the High Priest of Tython many times. I think
they've
Tython
never
and...
spoken to me before.
I think that is something between the two of you.
I think there is something special about you, little Mochi. It is a law that I follow that you keep what you take. I will not try to take anything back from you. Just a fair warning that if I catch you next time, I might take something in exchange.
I wasn't interested in your stuff. Although I suppose in your world, once you've stolen it, it becomes yours. So,
I admit the wedding ring was a bit too far.
I just wanted to give someone a wedding ring back, yeah.
That is fair. I was mostly doing it for the sport. I was going to leave everything once we most everything once we disembark.
I will admit the ship is incredibly boring. So I understand the need for sport.
Might I
I've just
suggest
been
a
hanging
game?
out. I've just been hanging out in the rafters listening to people have private conversations.
That is a fun game.
Exactly.
But perhaps a game of thieves?
Target?
Each other.
Prize?
Pride, the feeling of success, whatever you can take off the other person.
Would what we take off the other person remain with the other person?
I think we should agree on a single object that we can hide on our person, and at the end of this voyage, whoever ends up with that item is the victor. That way, we are not losing anything that is particularly important, and there are no hard feelings at the end.
Am I allowed to use more magic?
Use all the tools that you have in your belt. I assure you I will do the same.
Deal.
She nods to you and pulls out a coin and takes her dagger. She's going to carve a big X into either side on the coin. This particular coin, she's going to show you both sides and, like, you know, do her little sleight of hand to make it seem like it's disappeared and make it reappear. This is our target. Since you took off of me last, I will give this to you. You may hide it anywhere on your person, but it must remain on your person. I will do my best to take it off of you, and each evening, check to see if it is still there. If it is not, then you know what your goal should be the next day. And she flicks the coin up in the air. You hear like little
Gotcha.
ringing sounds. Do you have sleight of hand proficiency?
Yes.
Okay.
Been looking for a way to get expert, but I'm not a rogue.
Yes, I believe you can still do that through D&D Beyond. So I will say, if you play this game with Lorelei, by the end of this voyage, you will have expertise in sleight of hand. And that is something I will extend to all of you, is ship travel is kind of one of those mundane things where, you know, combat takes an entire day and ship travel will take like, you know, half an hour. But with the amount of time that you were on the ship, if there are any skills you would like to improve and any way you'd like to roleplay that out, we can give advantages, proficiencies, not advantages, proficiencies in certain skills, languages, combat, like weapon types, armor types, all that kind of stuff, because you will essentially have a bunch of time in a confined space to improve on that stuff. So by the end of the voyage, you will have gained a proficiency in something. So if there is something, I'll let you all think about it, that you'd like to improve on, please let me know. And somebody on the ship that could teach you as well. That's the other part of it. Cool. Anything anybody else wanted to do as you continue to voyage? All right. Sorry,
Well,
Chris, you
she's
can
just
do that.
quelling the impulse to swallow the coin.
I don't really have anything, honestly.
First thing she wants to do is just go.
Is
That's not in your person.
on your person, not in your person.
I
Mochi
mean,
does not want to
technically-
pass that.
Look, technically,
Semantics.
the digestive tract is open end to end, which will technically makes you a tube.
I don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
being-
okay. First of all, I didn't need to hear that today.
At all.
For those of you who might be Adventure Zone fans, they did use it was stone skin and mold earth to turn somebody into like a Hot Wheels track, just to get
Jesus.
something outside of
Look,
something
we're
that was
all just
inside
kind of
outside.
gross hollow cylinders, okay? We're just
Yeah, we're all just-
overcomplicated.
We're all
We're
just
all just
skin
gross
tubes.
hollow cylinders. That quote should go along with the greats, you know.
Absolutely not.
Look, this
I
is
think it was
not
Aaron
what she
Shaw
says
who
to
once
get
said-
more followers, okay?
Plato said that this is a whole. This is also a whole. Fair.
The holes, they connect.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Again, if anybody thinks of anything, please let me know. Otherwise, your journey continues. You know, you have either Ripper or your captain at the helm. Atlas, the Captain Atlas, he does take time to, like, you know, invite you all to a captain's dinner from time to time. You get to take a look at his captain's quarters and see. Again, he's invited you in there previously, but you can, you know, his war table laid out as a dinner table as his special guests. You come to be familiar with the other crewmates as well as the officers. You've obviously met the medic and the quartermaster. You come to learn the bosun, who spends a lot of time in the crow's nest, is an osprey raptor with an eye patch, whose name is Rhea Boltree. You come to be very familiar with the cook, who is a red panda Mapok
Nice.
named Clifford Jade. And the meals are coming from a Mapok, sometimes a little cobbled together, but all of you are familiar with Mapok food at this point. And I think that maybe is a point where sitting at the trencher tables, Clarence, you look down at this Mapok food that maybe reminds you a little bit of the Bright Stream family food, and maybe just makes you think that maybe this is the time to say something to Mochi, unless you had a better time in mind.
Aren't we at a table with a bunch of people?
You are. But Mochi's right across from you. There's chatter everywhere else.
You can scare your deep dark secret here in front of everybody.
Thorin is right next to you, just like, yeah, what's going on?
I would
To
say
Bash.
at least reminds you that you have not had the conversation. So you
yeah.
don't have to do it in front of a bunch of people.
No, it's alright. I mean, I think.
And
I think
Argus is giving you an expected look.
Argus is like staring daggers.
At the
Just
bag.
across the table, Argus is looking over as like Clarence and Mochi are across from one another, not really locking eyes, just staring.
For an owl, that's just par for the course.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Why?
It's wide eyed.
The head's
Rotate
turned
your
all the way
head and-
around.
Yeah.
For no reason but to show it off.
No. I think Clarence will go to flavor up their food, and then he looks at Mochi, and then doesn't flavor up his food. I'm sure it's good this way. Yeah, Mochi. No, does this remind you of like, family dinners sometimes?
Just mouthful. Mm-hmm. I feel more fish. A lot of fish.
It's an
Kind of
abundant
salty
resource.
too. I think Betty's been doing a lot of fishing.
Yeah. Betty's good at fishing.
Haven't you seen the giant net that she's been using? It's bigger than Argus's.
Mm-hmm.
Why are y'all being weird?
I'm literally just eating.
I'm just talking. It's not weird. Why are you being weird?
I'm being the exact same that I have always been.
Oh, is your tummy upset again? Do you need more ginger?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just
Puke that way.
I'm not puking. It's been days.
It's always beneath the surface, just waiting.
It's like y'all are being weird. I don't know what y'all aren't talking about, but y'all aren't acting the same. And I thought y'all were supposed to be best friends, and then starts shoveling food in his mouth again.
That's just me. I don't know.
Mochi, I noticed that the stars you can really see them like really well at nighttime when you're on the deck. It's not raining.
They're really good here.
Would you want to go check out some constellations with me after dinner?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, and also maybe at some point, hang on. Yeah, we have to go get a coin back at some point. I'll explain them when we're up on deck.
That's good.
You just see Lorelai fling
Exactly.
the coin.
Oh, Mochi's gonna get it back at some point, one way or another. She's like at some point, Mochi figures out she's 2 legendary resistances a day and just starts burning through them with nonsense spells so she can get to the good stuff. Like, cantrip,
okay.
cantrip, polymorph.
What would you polymorph Lorelai into? I have to ask.
Oh.
Is it something
Honestly.
really small, or is it something that's like way too big and overly
No, something way too big so she gets stuck and I can just find whatever I'm looking for. Think Wylmer, but in Humblewood.
Yes, okay. Like she's going through a doorway and you turn her into whatever Buttercup is. Just gets
Yeah,
stuck there for a little bit. Okay. The coin just flops out. Yeah.
exactly. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm taking this game seriously.
Yeah, I think we'll probably do a final as we get into port. We'll do a final one to see who ends up with it. Regardless, who will end up with the proficiency. Okay. The days continue on. Is there anything else anybody wanted to do before we get to our next, like, what do I say?
Story beat.
Yeah, story beat, or
I
like
think-
what's it in video games where you get the cutscene, where we get to our
Ah,
next
the
cutscene.
cutscene.
Yeah,
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
yeah.
Mochi at some point will also look for Clarence when they're kind of separate from everyone and just go, Clarence, do you have a second? I feel like there's something we have to talk about. And it's kind of serious, and we kind of need to like not be near Argus.
That's sure. I always have a second for you, Mochi.
So, okay, so the thing is, I'm pretty sure Argus and Jasmine got married and we weren't invited and you weren't the band and I didn't perform the ceremony and I didn't get him a present. What do I do?
So they're not married.
They all no, but he said his
But if
wife.
we didn't do the things, they're not married, obviously. That's how it goes.
Well, what if they're like pre-married?
Well, you know, Argus is grown up. I think sometimes it feels worse to be excluded from things.
No, but exactly. I thought we were friends. Why wouldn't he ask us? I get why he didn't ask Marley, but Volderol doesn't come down the mountain half the time. We could have
Yeah.
done it on the mountain. Foley could have been there.
It's
Do you think
true.
Foley was there?
Oh no.
Oh no!
Maybe that's who married them.
Druidic marriage?
I mean, it's allowed.
Yeah, no, I agree, but think of the dirt.
That's true. But to be fair, they were bandits for a while, so I think they're probably used to the dirt.
But that was like snow and stuff.
Snow's not dirty.
Sometimes it's pretty clean unless it's yellow. Or red. Also red snow wasn't good.
No, red snow's not good. So I mean, what if we just gave them a really awesome present?
Okay, yes. I was thinking either that or when Argus kills the Pirate King and we save Jasmine, and then we can't just put Jasmine like on the boat home while we help Soren, so we're gonna have to do like Jasmine's gonna hang out in Halara and do political intrigue and make Halara like a subsidiary of the bandit mercenary kingdom. Ooh, man, all these people reforming themselves and rebranding.
I know, but it just shows that people can grow and change in ways you may not have expected.
I mean, sure, I became a never mind. No, but my point was, what if we offer them like, we'll have to rope in Soren because he knows the place, but like a romantic getaway in Halara, like a jungle trip for
Yes.
two, so they can do whatever it is they do together away from us.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really great idea. I think that'd be good, and I don't think we need to mention that we weren't involved kind of thing.
No, you just be really nice about it so he feels guilty, and that's also good.
Huh?
A
Gotta get
romantic
him
getaway
with
for two.
kindness.
I'll go find Soren and get set up.
Mochi?
Yep.
Are we still friends?
I mean, you've been really busy making tons of money and being a super famous bard and telling everybody about us and going home to see your family without asking me if I wanted to go home and see your family, even though I always invite you to come see my family and I don't know about your family. But other than that, I think we're friends.
Yeah. And you've been like super busy becoming like basically a high priestess of Hath and getting all your followers and you know, really changing people's lives by bringing Hath to them and you know, doing your water sports and experiencing summer for like maybe the first time, and then
I
also
thought summer's
making
pretty
a new
cool,
best
actually.
friend.
Sorry, what? What was the last part? I was.
That you made a new best friend.
Emoji's like literally thinking right now. No, Lorelai isn't my new best friend. We're just playing a game.
I didn't even know you were friends with Lorelai. No,
Well, we're not like
was,
friends. We're just playing a game. That's literally what I just said. We just have to get the coin.
Yeah, but I was talking about Betty.
Betty's a friend, but not my best friend. I don't think so. Is there a checklist?
But you all spent the whole summer together. But the whole time I was away together.
No. We spent like the end bit of my summer together. I did most of it alone.
Oh.
Because I was a little worried that if I made new friends or I stuck around my current friends and I started to care for them and I would express that they would then explode in a giant ball of fire, because that's what I keep dreaming about. So I did most of my summer alone.
I'm
'Cause
sorry,
that's safer.
Mochi. I didn't realize that you were alone. I thought you had a new best friend, and then that's why I went off on my own journey.
No, I just figured that, you know, winter was saved, and I couldn't save you know, Marley, and I thought maybe people like Argus became king, and Voldrel had to deal with the bandits and the druids, and you're a big important bard who went to a school I was too stupid to get into, and then you left because you were too smart for the school I was too stupid to get into. So I figured I would probably be better off on my own for a while. So, or at least you would be better off if I was on my own for a while. So that's what I did.
Mochi, I am not better off without you. You know, how could we create all the shenanigans that we do if we weren't together? I mean, how much shenanigans did you create this summer without me? And how much did I
nearly
create
enough.
without you?
I don't know. You didn't tell me about your summer.
There wasn't much to tell, really. I mean, yeah, I went to go see my family. But I mostly went to go see them to tell them that I won't be staying with them and that I'll be traveling the world. Which is unusual because normally we all just stay in the same town and grow up in the same town and all spend all the family time together. But that's not what I wanted to do. And so I really only saw them for a couple of weeks, and then I spent most of the time alone on traveling on the road.
You did always like the road.
Yeah, you know, you meet some new people, do some new things. But, Mochi, you will always be my best friend.
It feels like there's a however coming.
There's not a however coming. It's just, I
didn't want to say but, because it feels like it's more serious than using the word but.
think I will always support you in your endeavors, even if you're creating a cult for Hath. But, I mean, you know, Hath's pretty chill, so I guess a Hath cult isn't really a bad
I was
thing.
about to say, we're just, it's a lot of hanging out.
Yeah, and drawing masks on things and, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What stars?
But also, I
Do good.
really
Steal
supported
from
you.
people who don't need it. Give it to people who do need it.
Exactly, but I help others.
Yeah.
And I supported you when you were trying to get into magic school, and was trying to help you get into magic school. And then when you decided you didn't want to go to magic school, I was also like, that's really cool too.
True.
Yeah. So, Mochi, I'm kind of doing a thing, and I really feel like you're not going to like it, but I just hope that maybe you'll be open-minded and supportive of the thing that I'm trying to do, because you are my best friend and I don't want to lose you as a best friend.
I would love to say I'll support anything you do, but also last time I was super supportive of a friend. We kind of come back to the part where they ended up exploding and dying. Because I didn't mind that Marley had sudden fire powers, and I was like, hey, that's cool. My god talks to me, and your god talks to you, and that's no reason for concern. And then we ended up making a memorial statue, and I really should have been concerned, and I wasn't concerned enough.
I think Marley always wanted to be the hero, though.
Yes, but you don't have to be a dead hero.
That's true. I don't think I'll end up a dead hero, but I don't know if I can ever guarantee that, because adventuring is actually really dangerous.
No, that is true.
There are like literally wake worms underneath this boat right now.
And we did cause a ginormous explosion in a port, but there's...
Yeah, if I didn't have Dimension Door, that would not have ended well.
I mean, I have Dimension Door as well, but we would have got it. It would have been fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just... Okay, so what are you doing?
So, remember when we were in the vault and there was like all the other things that were in the vault, and then we kind of made a kind of friend in the vault?
The skull?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I was really alone and traveling, during the last times I didn't see you, and I thought you were having like really good friends with your new best friend, and you were having really good times and really bonding there. I kind of thought about the skull, and I went and I picked up the skull, and bringing them with us on our journey, because I didn't necessarily think that it was right that the avium locked them up for 200 years without any sort of contact or anything like that. And I don't think that anybody really deserves that, even if you did bad things at one point.
You went to the avium, snuck into the vault, stole the skull of something undead that was in there because they did objectively evil things, snuck back out, and you're carrying it with you, I presume.
Yes.
Is that why your backup band is the way it is? Because I remember you getting shitty with me when I used too much necromancy, and that currently feels hypocritical.
That was very hypocritical. I'm really sorry about that. I think I did some reflection there, and
decided you wanted in.
Well, I think it's more of like, magic isn't bad. There's no type of magic that is bad. It's just how you use the magic that can be bad. Right? Like a sword is pretty and everything, but you can also use it to do bad things. But you can use it to do good things.
Clarence, I don't care that you freed the evil skull. I don't care that you're carrying it around. I don't care that your backup musician band thing is necromantic and see-through. You went without me? You snuck into the avium to steal the coolest thing we've seen in a decade, and you went without me? Because you missed me? You didn't think, oh, let's invite her, Mochi, and see if we can, like, get closer together again. You went without me? You know what? You keep your skull. No, it's your skull. It's not our skull. I suggested We go steal that skull several times, and you went without me? No, no. I need a minute.
Okay.
Maybe several?
Okay.
I'm sorry you felt that I was having the bestest time with my bestest new friends, even though that wasn't true. I'm sorry you felt that way. And I'm happy you would still like to be friends. I honestly don't give a fuck about the skull, Clarence. Do with it what you want. It would be, again, hypocritical of me to judge you for trading things away for power to higher beings. Literally my job. I don't care. I care that you went without me, and then it took you, what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? To even tell me? You've been... I hope you and the skull are very happy together.
But I hope that all of us can be happy together too.
I have to go talk Soren about a honeymoon.
Okay. I'll give you the time that you asked for, Mochi.
Thank you.
You still need help getting that coin back, or
Probably tomorrow.
okay?
Mochi's gonna go find Soren. She has a honeymoon to plan.
As Mochi leaves the room, the wood kind of creaking around you, the storm still kind of rumbling, just setting in a little bit deeper. The cold that's kind of creaking through the wooden slats. Are you all right, Clarence?
I think I got a little caught up in thinking only about myself, Cal. Because, I'm not the only hero of the Humblewood. Everybody else was there too. And we're only as good as those that we surround ourselves with. Are you
I'm
ready?
sure Mochi just needs some time. I'm sure she'll come around on things.
I don't know. I kind of did do like a really big cool thing without her.
Wasn't she at the same time doing cool things without you?
She said she wasn't though. That I read that situation incorrectly.
Then perhaps your invitation was just lost in the mail. What do I know?
I just have to make it up to Mochi somehow. I don't know how, but maybe I could plan another really cool big thing to do.
Sure, absolutely. Mochi seems to be wanting to plan this big event with Soren. Perhaps you could plan something as well.
I don't think it's that kind of event.
Maybe you could
I mean,
just
now
do something
I'll help Mochi out with that event. I just think, I don't know.
if she wants the help.
Yeah, that's true.
She asked for space, and you were gracious enough to grant that to her. I think that's very big of you, Clarence.
I just think it was the reasonable thing to do, Cal.
I agree. Well, in the meantime, I'll ruminate and see if I can think of something that, from what I know of Mochi, might build your bond back together, rebuild that bridge.
I don't know if this is a problem you can fix, Cal.
Well, Clarence, I am here to assist in any way. No, I am not here to take anything from your very capable paws. I am but a friend in an otherwise cold, unfriendly space.
Cal, why don't you tell me a story about something that you did way back in the olden days?
Sure. Well, I can tell you of a time when I was Archmage of the Avium, and some of the lessons that I applied there.
That you learned or that you taught?
I taught. I learned at the Avium, but I taught there as well. And I was actually the one to petrify the tree, so that it would never rot, never fail, always be standing. And he goes on to basically tell this lengthy story of how he restructured the Avium, how he actually was part of the one to build the ossuary where you had found him. A bit of irony that he ended up there. Give me an insight check.
Okay.
At disadvantage, please.
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, as a random aside, did we know that he was an archmage, like, of the Avium? I don't feel like he
Ever came up?
mentioned that before. Okay, just curious.
That was an 11.
Okay. There are no holes in his story at all. No red flags.
Great, thanks. You feel confident.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward A to B.
Uh-huh.
Every plot line tied up neat and nice with a bow. And you might find yourself, as he's telling this very mundane story, and he's getting into the deeper details about like how he arranged the office space of the Archmage so that there was a window to his back, and like you're starting to drift off a little bit in this cabin room as he's telling you this. Days go by. I have to imagine that Mochi doesn't really reach out too much to Clarence. Anniek, please correct me if that's not the case.
There's actually something she would do first,
Please,
fairly early on. Hi, Mom! Don't know if they missed it yet, but we know where the skull from the vault is. Don't worry, we've got it covered.
Is that ascending?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Look, I don't need my mother to go work overtime because they lost another fucking artifact. She needs to stay home with my dad so they can have a proper marriage again for a few years.
I so badly want sending to be like an answering machine kind of message where you can hear your dad in the background going, "Is that Mochi? Is she there?"
Yes.
But you hear back from your mom. That is both comforting and deeply disturbing. But I promised myself I would trust you. Hath will protect you. And you've got the rest.
Like, we didn't mention Clarence, we didn't mention who took it. I'm just saying we've got it covered. So I just need her to, like, stay home with my dad and I don't know.
She
I
she
need
has she has stitched a hath helped me to change the things I can, accept the things I can't,
Yep.
learn to know the difference.
Yep.
She absolutely has one of those that she has up on the wall that she's just stares at every single day.
And the next day, Mochi would ask Clarence for help getting the coin back.
Okay. Clarence, what does that help look like?
I think Clarence puts on a show.
Okay.
And yes. And
Do you bamf out your band?
yeah, I mean I can't really they're spectorial. I can't really
So question to Derek. Does Mochi spot the hedge?
Give me a perception check.
Oh no.
Did Mochi spot the hedge, but we were below deck on the ship?
Yes! I have a passive perception of 22 and they were snoring.
Oh, that's fair. Clarence does that.
This is one, like, Anniek wants to pass this, but Mochi shouldn't. Like, she's traumatized enough, and yet I'm asking for this? I'm making some choices here. 19?
Yeah, you notice the hedge because the hedge is like staring daggers at you. Just a triangle, just staring at you. Just angry triangling.
Okay. We're gonna put that away to talk to Clarence about later.
Yeah.
For now, if a coin to get.
Clarence, give me a performance check, please.
That is a dirty 20.
Fantastic. Anniek, you may roll your sleight of hand with advantage.
Look, my natural 20 wasn't enough last time. I don't know why you're putting this on sleight of hand. Let me use at least like
It was 25 last time. It was a tie last time, which is why she was able to notice you.
But is she rolling perception against
She
me?
is, yes. But your perception is lower than her stealth. Or her sleight.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering if we've already burned through her legendary resistances today, or if I should just try it with Bane.
For this stuff, it's just gonna be a straight roll.
Alright, I'm gonna use one of the inspirations chat was nice enough to buy me, because that's a 1 and a 3, and we're not playing that way. No, I'm not accepting this. Need that coin. Oh, that is so much better. 18 and 5, 23.
23, very nice. She got a 19. So,
That's a good
you
thing I didn't use that 3.
you are able to kind of like notice where you were wearing what she's wearing, where you would hide it, and you can kind of see this slight outline in her hood that you can probably notice is like a small just like slit she's made in the cloth. And as Clarence is performing and occupying everybody's attention with like the spectral band and everything, Lorelei is kind of standing there with her arms crossed, her foot's tapping, although her head's kind of just cocked to the side. And as the head is cocked to the side, the hood is just a little too exposed. And Mochi, you were able to kind of like almost like flick the side of her hood, and the coin goes flinging into the air that you just, even before like the ringing sound can happen, that you just catch it in your paws and it just start applauding with it as it's palmed in your hand.
Perfect.
And Lorelei looks over to you and she goes, "Oh, hello, Mochi. Quite a good performance."
Yes. I mean, I think maybe he's still a little seasick, because I've seen him do even better. AKA, I've seen Shadow roll at 28. I guess it's the up and down of the ship.
Of course, yes, the acoustics, very, very weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I will see you later then. No offense to you, our little game, I don't want to stand too close to you.
Aw, you don't want a hug?
Maybe later. And she goes, just walking away across the deck.
Mochi just mutters, "Oh, you're gonna want to hug later." She tucks the coin somewhere.
Okay. Anything else anybody wanted to do? Okay. A couple more days pass. You are getting to the point where you are actually cresting past Esden right now. The still part of the main continent, but what would essentially be like if Humblewood is North America, which it very much does appear to be on the map of Everden, Esden would be like Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, kind of like the bridge to what would be the Tango Wilds, which is the South American contemporary, again on the map as it is structured that way. So you can see like when the storm breaks just a little bit, you can see far off in the distance these mountains larger than even those that you would have ever been able to see in the Humblewood. Kind of this spine back along this peninsula of just this massive ridge, this crest that winds all the way up Esden. Maybe on certain nights you might even be able to see, as you're close enough to land, small flickerings of light and habitation. But the storm often makes it difficult to do that. There does come a day where the storm seems to break for the most part. The thunder ceases, the wind still blowing somewhat decently, but you notice the ship is kind of slowed just a little bit as you enter this wall of fog. And it's hard to see like 10 feet in front of you on the ship itself. Sailors are kind of manning the rigging just in case something happens to kind of pop out of nowhere. You're never really sure what will happen in the fog. There's the bosun is actually standing almost next to the figurehead, like out actually on the stern of the ship to try to keep a sharp eye for anything that might be upcoming. Not even looking into the crow's nest, or from the crow's nest, I should say. Is there anything any of you would be doing in the dense fog?
I feel like Clarence would be like at the ready in like the center of the ship, like on top.
Okay.
Like on
the
alert.
deck, or
like
on the
yeah.
deck or on the crow's nest?
Probably just the deck.
Okay. What does ready look like for Clarence? Are you playing music? Are you playing that like "Don't Notice Me" song? What is Clarence readying for?
Clarence is playing no music right now. Does have their like pan flute and has like their rapier strapped on, and it's just kind of like standing there, like ears are up, and is like really just like using all of their lubu skills, because they do have the big ears.
Mm-hmm.
And it, just kind of like sonaring the ears and just kind of like keeping on like alert if something like comes out of the fog, or if they start hearing like the waves lapping up against rocks or stuff like that.
Okay. Give me a perception check with advantage, please. As you're going boop, boop, boop. Lupu radar.
And Jesus. Oh, okay. Good thing it's advantage. Because that was horrible. I rolled a 4 the first time, but this time we rolled a nat 20 on that listening. So that would be a total of 23.
23. Okay. With a 23, you pick up on a couple of things. There's, of course, the sound of the ship as it's cutting through the water, but you pick up on something else that's splashing out of the water, something that kind of off the starboard that seems to be moving through the water, like that extra cut, that extra like splashing noise, and then almost like the sound of something that's going underwater, as something kind of goes under. You also, far ahead on to the stern of the ship, far ahead into the fog, you hear a bell ringing.
I don't. Yeah, Clarence wouldn't know what. I mean, maybe they told Clarence, but Clarence wouldn't know what to say on the ship to alert people to things.
Okay. What would Clarence say, not knowing what to say?
We're not alone in the water, and there's a bell up ahead.
Okay. With that, Rhea kind of looks back from the stern. She goes, "Are you sure, friend?"
Yep. Points to the ears. Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
She yells back, "Captain, slow ahead!" And you see some of the sails are rigged. They're pulled up to slow the ship just a little bit. And as they're doing that, I will need a dexterity saving throw from everybody, please.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Thought this was gonna be a diceless roll for me this week.
I was hoping.
I mean, at least
really
you have
hoping.
inspiration for your recap.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is better.
I was going to ask if, as soon as Clarence yelled at people,
Mhm.
hopefully after I either fall down or stay up, Mochi, as soon as the fog got gross and creepy, would have been preparing a beacon of hope.
Great.
Cool. Soren was also like he was on like the masthead, just like chilling out up there.
It's an advantage.
So this is this might be bad for him. We'll see.
Derek, because I also have lucky feet.
Oh, me too.
If
Lucky feet? Oh, nice.
if I fail,
The rabbit, she has lucky feet.
I do get to,
His lucky
I get
feet.
to add a D for it just in case.
Okay.
I'm nervous. Question: Is this a dex save for us to get knocked off? By chance?
Depending on where you are, potentially.
Okay, because I have sticky toes. So do I
Okay.
have advantage on this?
You will have advantage on this.
Okay.
Because of the glorious
Nice.
inspiration I got a 21 instead of a natural one.
Fantastic. Okay.
Ooh.
I got a 19.
I
Okay.
got an 18.
Okay.
I also got an 18.
Okay.
Mochi
You
just
can-
has a nice
there you go.
low center of gravity, and she also got a 21.
Nice.
Okay. The DC was 15. Sounds like nobody got that. So as the ship comes to a jolt, like just almost like, slamming on the brakes, essentially, all of you kind of jolt forward for a second. And Rhea kind of calls back and she says, "Captain, I said nothing about dropping anchor." And you hear Atlas kind of shouting back from the front, "I didn't!" And he looks back and sees that the netting that had been attached to those,
Oh,
those
no.
rigging hooks, the rigging hooks are gone. They have been ripped from the ship.
Rigging hooks are gone. What the fuck?
Like there
Uh-oh.
are two big chunks of wood that have been ripped from the stern of the ship.
About that beacon of hope.
Yes. And just as that happens, the fog seems to break a little bit, like almost like you're coming out of the veil of it. And the storm itself it's raining, but the clouds have kind of let this bit of light peek through, just enough for you to see the source of that bell ringing. And far up ahead, you see a sailing ship, and you can actually see far in the distance, there is an albatross, like Quaqua, that is just frantically ringing this alarm bell. And you see like an arm kind of waving as he notices all of you. And that is the last thing that you see, as a massive coiling serpentine body wraps itself around the midst of the ship, splitting it in two. And as the rear end of the ship sticks up into the air, and you see the name The Redemption on the back of it, and it begins to sink, rigging and all, into the water. A serpentine body crests out of the water. This arching back, this inverted U that reshapes itself with a very large, horrible, multi-eyed, fanged face that now looms over your ship. And to go ahead and deal with that complication, you see a second one join it. And as we return the next time, we will be joining our party as they roll for initiative,
Oh
as
god.
they go to fight against two, not just one, but two wake worms. So
Fine.
Uh,
This I've been waiting for this.
I thought Clarence was going to keep playing the sexy music so they would leave us alone.
Yeah, but then Clarence got seasick, but now Clarence can play the sexy music again.
Distract them. Just make sure they focus on each other again.
These are the consequences of Clarence's actions. If they would have just taken Cal's offer again.
Hey, I'm proud of you for not taking that offer. Don't need driving
Bro.
me from demon sources. Go to Dwayne Reed or something. A CVS.
Be a special.
so
Say
yeah, we
no
can
to patron pressure.
place your tokens next time. This is to scale. No pun intended for the wake worms.
Whoa!
And
no.
Oh, that's worse.
they big.
Good
Oh,
lord.
Hold on, wait,
no.
hold
That
on,
just
wait.
means they're easier to hit, guys.
That's
I-
right. That's right.
Does it?
It's like hitting the broadside of a barn.
So next
That can-
time, presumably there will be a battle map, so everyone who's watching at home will be able to see exactly what we're seeing, which is
That's true.
terrifying.
That's true.
My god.
Decent sized ship. I'm sure it'll all be okay. You got,
Sure,
you
it'll
got
be
another ammo.
fine.
Okay.
I have a plan.
Ooh. Oh, good.
Does it involve saving all of us?
Yes.
Perfect.
I has plan.
I know exactly what I'm doing on my turn, so fuck it.
Yeah, I've got my next 3 turns lined up.
I've got a big one spell, and I'm like everyone handled that one. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm just gonna teleport home, guys. Like,
GTFO.
And I'm out.
hmm
so this looks
Uh,
like fun.
Can I banish myself?
Just for 1 minute, just chill in a demi plane.
Yeah.
This
They
is
come
nice.
back and be like, "It's good. We're back. Oh, the ship's gone."
Yeah, come back and everything's just gone. Yeah, that's a good tactic. That should be what's the
Wait.
protection wizard? That should be a good protection wizard.
So
Yeah.
banishment, but in ship combat is like OP is what I'm hearing here.
I mean, you'll come back a minute later.
Yeah.
So,
And the ship won't be there a minute later.
but the wake worms will be.
No.
Hey,
I'm
a
talking
minute.
about-
They can get
I'm
back
talking
to
about
having
banishing
fun.
something else. Like if you're fighting another ship and you could just
Oh,
banish
I
that
see.
ship
Yeah,
captain.
yeah.
Does
You
the
know,
ship
yeah.
count as a creature?
No, unless it's
Well,
a mimic.
Soren can talk.
I shoulda-
to it.
I
He
shoulda
makes it
asked
like
the
a
ship.
creature, right?
I should have asked the ship.
Okay.
Unless
Thank you
it's
so
a
much.
mimic. That's the worst answer, Derek.
Oh, that was
That-
the answer we got.
Ooh.
Ship in there?
Okay. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. I don't think Night of Fright will be playing today, so I am just coordinating with him real quick. But
Oh
thank you
my
so much
God.
to my wonderful players here and to you in the audience for joining us. Super appreciate you all sticking around with us. I am going to have these lovely people say a little bit about themselves and where you can find more of them, and then we'll do some channel news stuff, and then yeah, we'll let you go for what sounds like the rest of the day. So let's go ahead and go around. Shadow, where can we find more of your lovely self?
Ah, yes. Hi, I am Shadow. You can find me everywhere relevant at A Shadow of Sylvia. Now that statement has become even more relevant in our current social media status, feel free to follow the link that's probably in the chat somewhere. If you would like to find me in places where I exist on the internet. Yeah, otherwise I'm here. I play Clarence on Humblewood, who is dealing with some consequences of their own actions, but it's fine. We're gonna work through it. It's gonna be great. On Tuesdays, you can find me and Derek and the lovely Lady Dame playing Baldur's Gate 3 as we play Gate Night. Who I also play Pepperella, who also has never done anything wrong ever. Definitely did not take a level in Warlock with Pepperella. It's great. And then
Shadow has a type.
I have a type, and unfortunately, Gale hates me. And then, yeah, otherwise you can just find me doing things over on Roll-D5 where I'm an admin. We play indie TTRPGs, and I do things there. My face won't be on stream anytime soon there, but you never know. So come check us out.
I hope that Shadow's face is in many places. It's a very good face. But yes, please check Shadow out in all those wonderful places, not just the places that are here. Next up, we have, this is where my memory fails me, Liz.
It's me. Hi, friends. I'm Liz. I have been Betty, the barbarian who really just wants to fish and take care of people. It's like Marley all over again, except taller, honestly. I am here on Sundays, and that's really the only place that I'm like physically, with my face anywhere at the moment. But I did release two new games this last week. So you can find The Fairy King's True Name if you are interested in a dice rolling game where you generate a story about kissing and or killing the Fairy King. And I'm releasing a large number of my games as one-page editions in an advent calendar sort of thing. So that just released yesterday. If you go and make that purchase on my itch page now for the next 2 weeks, you can get the entire collection, which is looking to be about 15 different games for $1. So if you do it now within the next 2 weeks, every additional game is going to add $1 onto the collection, but you can get it for $1 whole dollar right now. So, highly recommended. I'm a little biased, but
Yes, please check out all of Liz's awesome games. Smooch that Fairy King. Trying to think, what are
Or kill him. It's all
or kill. You
Yeah,
have
smoosh?
options. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
Maybe do
Smooch or
both.
Smoosh.
Maybe do both.
Why
you
not
could do
both?
both. You
Right.
could absolutely do both, for
It's an
sure, for
option.
sure.
There is an
It-
order to doing that.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
well, I mean, it's your story.
Pending.
There's your story.
Listen, you can't spell necromancer without romance, okay?
Hey, there it is.
That's a terrible joke.
Very good.
We don't condone that, legally
In,
speaking.
in
Live-
real
li-
life. we don't
Live your
promote it in
best
real
life. Live your best life. Do what you want.
Don't
Okay.
let
Yes.
Derek stop you.
Live your
Okay.
best undeath.
Mm.
Can we please
Um,
clarify that the murdering and the necromancing is an in-game thing, and we don't condone actual physical murder for legal reasons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
I'm not
important to say.
I'm not touching moral reasons.
I need somebody just to clip that for my future court cases.
Yep, yep,
Uh, just, in legalese, it said right here, Your Honor. Okay. Next up, Queon.
Oh my god. Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Queon. I played Soren today, the most unassuming, lovely little Tilia, and I love him so much. And I can't wait for him to have to fight these creatures of arcane waters. But I am a TTRPG performer, writer, and producer across all of these TTRPG spaces and things. First things first that I have coming up today, if you enjoy spooky things and it's the month of spooks and all that good stuff, come over to Hit Crit Chronicles, where we will be doing the finale of Tales of Sarah, and I may die. Who knows? We'll see. It's a possibility, babes. But other than that, you can also find me over at what is it called again? I gotta make sure. Somebody's Heroes over on November 10th. I will be slaying in every sense of the word, and playing all of that in the name of Zaddy Bahamut, and just playing an an old crotchety Griffin guy, and it's just gonna be great. I can't wait. Other than that, I have one last thing, and I'm super excited. I had to push it back a while, but dropping on Halloween Tales and Story, my apparel shop, will be open for purchases and all that good stuff, and I cannot wait for you guys to see all of that. It's just a lot of like amazing clothing for people who love to tell stories and like wear stellar clothing. That's it. But yeah, that's me.
I think I speak for all of us when I say that we're really excited to purchase some things and rep your brand.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
I'm personally really excited.
Nice.
Absolutely. If you ever are looking for affiliate ships, 1000%. Yeah.
I've already been thinking about it.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's a
Could not
short
be more
list.
excited.
I would love to be excited, but I think shipping is going to.
Anniek,
absolutely
I'll
murder
buy
me.
you
That
one
is what I
golden
have-
care package.
That's why I had to work on it, specifically because of you, because I wanted to make shipping like a worldwide thing, and that was a pain
It
where
really
it's not
is.
abysmally expensive for everybody.
Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah.
that's true facts.
Yeah. Even I send Anniek. We like build a care package throughout the year, so we don't have to mail too frequently.
Mhm.
So it's just a box that we have to deal with once. So yeah, anything that needs to go to Anniek, we can absolutely facilitate that.
Sweet.
Yes, please check out all those things, and especially check out Queon. I'm sorry, what was the channel you're going to be on later today?
Crit Hit Chronicles.
Check out Crit Hit Chronicles.
Chronicles.
Yes. So excited.
Next up, we have Anniek.
Hi, my name is Anniek. You can find me here on Sundays for this, and then after this, you can find me here on Sundays for other things. Next in the planning for Sundays, Mothership and Tales from the Loop. That we're going to have to start casting at some point, but we kind of figured Humblewood might be slightly longer than 12 sessions because it's session 6 and we just got on the ship. Casting eventually. However, on November 8th, we will be playing our postponed game of Our Woodlands Gods-ish. It's a hack. My players have made beautiful characters. Their god died, and they're gonna go find a new one in a eldritch beast-plagued forest. And we're gonna raise money doing it. It's gonna be beautiful. The trees are bleeding. People are crying, and we haven't even started yet. Very excited.
Wow. I wish my nightmares hadn't said the exact same thing to me last night. That's.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sorry.
that was me. I was trying to send to someone else.
That's just Anniek calling me in the middle of the night, and I just forgot. Yeah. No, that's really good.
Sorry.
That's okay. I appreciate you reaching out. Please check out that stuff. It does sound like we're gonna have a couple of our October charity months extending a little outside. Charity month games extending a little outside of October. So appreciate that we can keep the love going for Nami. Let's see. Absolutely. Last but absolutely not least, we have Christian.
Hi, everybody. Hey, my name is Christian, aka Fluffy Goomba. All over these internets, I'm a TTRPG performer, educator, and event coordinator here in the space. You can find me all over the place as a Fluffy Goomba. And coming soon will be a new tutorial for the game Masks, so look out for that. And if you are looking for something spooky, you can always check out the award-winning game I did with Queen's Court Games for a Call of Cthulhu game called Harlem Hellfires Never Die. It is one of the projects I'm the most proud of, I think, ever. And it's real spooky. It's an all-black cast trying to survive Call of Cthulhu in Harlem. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
That's cool as hell. That's really good. All right, I'm really excited about that. Thank you to these very lovely people. Please check them out in all of those places. Encourage them to be in more, cast them in more things. Support the things that they make and support the things that they do because they're wonderful people and they absolutely deserve that. For me, I'm Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. DSword16 are my socials for most everything, but highly recommend just, checking out Sword and Key first because most of what I do, I mostly get notifications from stuff I don't even like anymore. That's how absent I am from my own Twitter. It's like, hey, here's something you might like, and it's never something I like. So always the worst. The algorithm has no idea what I'm into. But most of what I do is for Sword and Key. So check out Sword and Key. You can find all of our stuff in one neat, nice package on beacons.ai/sword and key. You can find all of our socials, which is sword_and_key. You can join our Discord there, which we have some cool stuff over there I'm going to talk about here in a second. You can find our ongoing philanthropic endeavors like Fauna and Flora International for this game, PCRF, Palestine Children's Relief Fund for Zenith, as well as Journey to Book's End, NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness, which we are doing the one-shots for throughout October, and K9 Campaigns for Independence, which is kind of one of our evergreen, we support in general sort of things. We will have, I'm sure, more down the line. We're looking to do Hopemas when December rolls around. We'll have some stuff for Pride Month as well, and probably a few things in between. Looking at our calendar, it does sound like Night of Fright is going to be taking a break from today for some personal health stuff. So absolutely always appreciate people taking care of themselves first and foremost, because at the end of the day, all we're doing here is playing games. So we don't have a date set just yet for Night of Fright Part 2. I will post about that once we do. What is today? Today is the 20th. So tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have the return of Journey to Book's End. It's a cipher game that Mare is running. I believe one of the characters just killed and replaced Titania, the Fae Queen. So
Yes.
great time to join in. That will play every Monday until the campaign wraps up. On Tuesday, as Shadow mentioned, I am joined by Shadow and LD as we play Gate Night. We play Baldur's Gate 3, the only video game currently streamed here on Sword and Key. That's typically 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. And that plays every Tuesday. Zenith, which is our other 5e game, our other 5e game, that is run by one of my favorite GMs, Alex, is going to be back on the 24th. They will be taking Halloween off, but should be back the week after that on November 7th. But Zenith plays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time on most Thursdays. And then Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, we do movie nights typically every other week, but throughout October we've been doing weekly double features. So this will be the last double feature for the month. And we are doing slashers with a twist. We're going to do the original Scream, as well as the 2019 movie, one of my personal favorite horror movies, Ready or Not. And then it's great. I love that one. On the 26th, Horizons Call will be taking a break. However, we will have a 10 a.m. Pacific time game of Monster of the Week, subtitled A Night in the Museum. I've got a great cast for that. And I'd always love Monster of the Week. And then the last game we have to wrap up October is Stop Flaming Preps, which has another great cast, including Shadow. And that will be on 3 p.m. Pacific time on the 27th. And then Humblewood will play before that. We'll also have a new episode of Monster Crush out on likely the 27th, maybe the 28th. This is episode 90. We're going to do a big episode about Dracula. So, the history of Dracula, Vlad Tepes, Vlad Dracul, all the stuff that went into Bram Stoker being just really, really horny for Oscar Wilde and making that everybody's problem. Other than that, we will have more things down the line. As Anniek mentioned, our Woodland Gods got rescheduled for the 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We'll have the rescheduling of Night of Fright Part 2 posted. And we also got reached out to by Black Cats Gaming. Highly recommend checking them out. They've got a fantastic group of people working over there. But they gave us an advanced copy, digital copy, of Cursed Captains of Cthulhu. So as much as we love horror games and nautical games, look out for a casting call for that here probably real soon. Because I will be looking to run that. It is a very fun looking game. The only other thing is, I should have said, movie nights happen on our Discord, so make sure you join our Discord through our beacons if you're not there already, if you do want to be part of our movie nights. And then the only other thing that's not necessarily Sword and Key, but it's kind of my thing, on the 3rd, Humblewood will be taking a break, it's 3rd November, because I will be over on Valdrant's channel for an Extra Life game. Every now and then, I'm not here all the time. And I will be running a D&D one-shot for Extra Life over there, since Valdranth is a friend of the channel and asked ever so nicely. So, thank you again to all of you. Thank you for the donations to Fauna and Flora International. Like I said, we'll have more applications out soon. Those go on our Discord first and appear on our social media second. So, Discord's the place to be. Take care of yourself. I don't think we're raiding anybody today. So... yeah, so check out Queon later today. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves. And we will see you sooner rather than later. And never forget the Humblewood motto: no body, no crime, no drama. Also, fair winds following seas, because, we're in the ocean as well. It's Horizons Paul, everybody.